Hello and welcome to the Final Fantasy XIV announcement showcase. It's going to start up in a few scant minutes. Very excited. I love FF14. FF14 is one of my favorite games ever made. Where to even start on this, right? I'm thinking we're going to the moon. I'm thinking that we're getting Chemist is almost like a lock, right? Chemist healer. But I want Geomancer. I think we'll probably get Beastmaster as a limited job. I know that's been brought up a lot. Some people saying Puppeteer. But I'm at this point now where they could kind of add anything, and I'd be excited to see their version of it, to see what they do with it, you know? And so I'm very excited. I haven't had time to play FF14 a lot recently, but I do still really love it, and I can't wait to see what new stuff we're getting. Couple more minutes till we get started, so I wanted to give a couple brief heads up for those who maybe have seen it before, maybe have not. Yoshi P's shirt is going to be a clue as to the next job. We will probably get expansion name, and we will probably get expansion place tonight as part of this announcement. There's going to be a live letter immediately following this announcement showcase. I do have some more work I've got to do, so I'm probably not going to be able to watch the live letter. But hopefully we get the big stuff here, and then a live letter just digs into it later, and I can dip into that and see what's going on there. Yeah, I'm real stoked, honestly. I got the green screen out and everything for this, so I'm just trying to keep my hype levels down a little bit, you know, because at the same time, we're probably not going to get Geomancer. Beastmaster is probably just going to be limited, like Blue Mage. But, again, basically whatever they do, I'm here for it. So, let me know in the comment section down below what your recommendations, what's your predictions, that's the word I was looking for, are. I've just finished a breathing treatment, so I'm a little shaky, but I'm also still really excited. I know that I'm just rambling at this point because, I don't know what else to say other than I think I want to go to Garlemald. I think we're probably not going to go to Garlemald this expansion because I think we're going to the moon instead. But I really want to go to Garlemald. I really want to see Ilsabard. I want to get into all of that and follow up what happened at the end of Shadowbringers. I want to see the continuing story of the Scions, of course. And I think that what we got in Shadowbringers is one of my favorite stories in video games. So I'm very excited to see what the next leg of that journey is going to be. And it looks like we're starting now. Need to bring this audio back up so I can bring this audio back down. There's the moon right away. We're looking at the moon. Make myself a little smaller here. Yep. The Warrior Light. That's the moon! I'm telling you, we're at the moon! We're going to the moon! Garlemald.
Upon us. The fabric of the star had begun to fray, its lands rent by tooth and claw.
Right. How'd they say? Very cool. Yeah! Paladin, huh? Very nice. Is that Rune Knight?
I can look after myself, you
Is
know.
that Rune Knight?
And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on.
because that's definitely something new, and I'm here for it. I need to turn my own volume down. I'm getting stoked. I'm getting excited. No! No, 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 no. Come on. Okay. All right. Quality will pick back up again.
Past the far edge of fate.
Past the far edge of fate.
Blades dark and light. Tolling the coming of the end.
We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Endwalker. Heck yeah. Going to the moon. Fall 2021. Coming this year. First off, I did not think we'd get a new job in the trailer. That's nuts to me. I am okay. All right. Okay. What's Twitter looking like right now? Is Twitter losing its mind right now? Oh man. Yeah. People losing their mind, just as I expected.
皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。Hi guys, my name is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV.
No comment.
Bonjour à tous et enchanté. Je suis Naoki Yoshida, producteur et réalisateur du Final Fantasy.
Who is that on his shirt?
Guten Tag zusammen. Ich bin Naoki Yoshida, producer and director from Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, he's also for Final Fantasy 15 now, right? Yeah.
よろしくお願いします。ちょっとね、今日会場にね、観客いないので、ちょっとコメントを
I can't stop sneezing. Who is that on his shirt?
YouTube もコメント返してもらってるんで、すごいたくさんいる。ありがとうございます。じゃあ早速新情報発表会、お届けしようと思うんですが、グローバル対応なので僕一人ではとてもじゃないけどさばききれないので
I'm too focused on his shirt. I'm not listening to what he's saying.
トランスレーター呼びたいと思います。マイケル・クリストファー・コージ・フォックスです。
Koji Fox?
コージよろしくね。
Hello, everyone. On behalf of our producer and director, Naoki Yoshida, I'd like to welcome you all to the announcement showcase for everyone here and watching around the world. My name is Michael
Walker.
Fox, and today I will be Yoshi P's English voice.
Koji Fox?
さすが英語上手だね。
Yeah, I'm pretty good at English. Just kind
of. So many comments.
They're going too fast. I can't see.
いやー、すごいね。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Yes, thank you very much.
まあ、
Endwalker。
今回新情報発表会っていうのをね、わざわざやるのは、やっぱりこう世界中でどうしてもね広がってしまっている新型コロナウイルスの対応ということで、なかなかファイナルファンタジー14ファンフェスティバル必ず大規模に世界中でやってるんですけど、まあそれができてないと。
Yeah, couldn't have Fan Fest because of everything going on.
Usually around this time of the year, or even earlier, we would be holding a Final Fantasy fan festival to announce our new expansion. But because of the pandemic, that has limited us.
世界中の医療関係者の方が我々の生活のために戦ってくれている中、まあ、やっぱりどうしてもこう僕らもね世界に打って出て、まあ、アナウンスするっていうのが難しい状況の中で今回は日本で映画館を開いてですね、皆さんにファイナルファンタジー14の最新情報、これからの未来をお届けしていこうと思います。
I'm focused on it. Endwalker.
There are people around the world putting out their most to fight this pandemic and make sure that doesn't spread any further.
Absolutely.
We decided to hold this announcement showcase here in a theater in Japan to do our part.
で、まあパッチ5.2から5.3の間に約2ヶ月半から3ヶ月スケジュールのね開発もやっぱり止まってしまうっていう状況があって、どうしても今日発表させていただいた次なるファイナルファンタジー14の拡張エンドウォーカーっていうのもやっぱりちょっと時期がずれていってしまってます。
As you remember, back around during, right around the development between patch 5.2 and 5.3, because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
we had to slow down our development for about 2.5 to 3 months.
Also, that is a
Because
great
of
shirt
that is
that
affecting
Koji's wearing.
the release date of Endwalker.
ですので今日はですね、ファンフェスティバルの基調講演1回目プラスアルファぐらいで、聞いていただければ、この先ねデジタルファンフェスもあります、今回とそのデジタルファンフェスと2回に分けてこの最新拡張エンドウォーカー行月のフィナーレのお話をしていこうと思います。
So today we'd
Walker.
like you to treat this announcement showcase as our first big fan festival, like
Yeah.
the keynote announcement that we have at our first fan festival. And then of course, later in the year, we're going to have our digital fan festival, and there we'll be releasing.
I still
even
want to
more
know.
information.
I want to know about the fin
今日は
funnels
可能な限り、新情報をお届けしていき
Alphino was using there.
ます。
All right, and so today we're going to try to tell you as much as we can.
Please.
さあまずはですねトレーラー先ほど
I got too
ご覧いただき
excited.
ま
I
した
moved the
まだ
green
まだ
screen.
ティザートレーラーではありますが
Oh yeah, I watched the teaser trailer yesterday.
惨状が巻き起こっていました。
So you just saw our first teaser trailer, and even though it was a teaser, it was filled with lots of exciting information about Endwalkers and the second coming of the final days.
Yeah.
ね、暁の面々はそれに光の戦士もそうですけど対抗しているような様子が描かれてましたね。
And we saw how the Warrior of Light and members of the Scions were, again, battling against the coming of the final days and trying to prevent it.
Yeah.
という
Parts of
わけで
Lenocia were on
こち
fire.
らファイナルファンタジー14 6.0 エンドウォーカー行月のフィナーレと読みます、
Walker
今年2021年秋を目指して開発を進めております。
And so, our newest expansion, 6.0 Endwalker, is slated for release in fall of 2021.
そういえば工事
Very stoked. Very stoked.
1.0 から、ね、
Goaty,
ずっとスタッフとして参加してくれてるよね。
Right, yeah, I've been around since 1.0.
Yeah.
So,
今日実際この放送を見てくださってる方にも多分ね1.0から
No
やってる方
probably a
comment.
lot of players watching today as well that have been around since 1.0.
It's been a while.
を見るといるのかな。
Although I guess like been around since I quit,
おーす
right?
ごいたくさんいらっしゃいますね。
So
ありがとうございます。こ
I
の
don't have as much
アートワー
rep
ク
as others have.
実は1.0の時に似たような構図のアートワークがございます。若き日のね、光の戦士なのかな。
If you recall, there is a similar type of artwork that we had back from 1.0, back when the Warrior of Light was a lot younger, but doing
Yeah.
a similar type of pose.
はい、ぜひね、ちょっと見比べていただくのも
He was a warrior back
ちょっ
then.
とその成長
Not a paladin.
軌跡を照らし合わせてみたので、そういったところもね、見ていただけると嬉しいかなと思います。
We'd like players to take a
No,
look at
he
this
was a
and
paladin a
remember
couple
back
times way
that,
back in the day.
1.0 Warrior of Light and see how he has moved forward and see how he has developed over the years.
But he became a warrior towards the end of 1.0 for sure as like the standard go-to.
Come along in years as well.
Because he was
という
a
わけで
archer
今
at
回
first.
このなんだろうプロモーションでね頑張っているこう光の戦士今回は主役ナイトジョブに、ジョブチェンジして活躍してくれそうです。
And so as you can see here, our Warrior of Light, he will be fighting this expansion as a paladin.
Yeah.
さてでは早速
My favorite tank.
触れていこう
Super down for that.
こういうタイミングいつも僕ストーリーのお話からするんですけど
Okay, so now we want to get into a little bit more of the content of Endwalker. And usually at this point in the keynote, we'll start talking about the story.
さっきねトレーラーの中に気になるシーンがあったと思うので最初はこちらの情報から今回行こうかなと思います。
But as you saw in the trailer, there is something that was very important. And
Yeah.
we'll touch upon that
Yeah.
as we get into the story.
Yeah, because that wasn't
今
Chemist
回もですね
and that wasn't Geo,
新たな
unless
ジョブを
they've messed with Geo a lot.
なんですけど
That looked like Rune Knight or Fencer,
一つのジョブを実装
but Fencer is more of what Red Mage has
So
become.
for Endwalker, we are planning the release of multiple jobs, 2 new jobs.
2 new jobs.
前
Okay.
回の思い出すとですねファンフェスでこうジョブを発表していった時にですねヒーラーがいねえぞというのをですね世界中のプレイヤー
Yeah,
の
we need a healer for
言
sure.
われまして
They could both be
Past
healers,
Fan
honestly.
Festival, when we announced the new jobs, we had a lot of feedback from
Yeah.
players all
Yeah,
around the world
that's
saying that
an understatement.
we didn't have enough healers and we needed new healers.
なのでまず今回
So
は
both these new jobs will be healers, right? And that'll bring us up to 5
2 つ
healers?
の新しいジョブのロールを、お伝えしてしまおうと思います。
Because I'm down
So,
for that.
before we get into which new jobs we're going to be releasing, we want to tell you at least which roles those two jobs will be.
Okay.
はい、もちろん一つは、世界中からご要望いただいたヒーラーを新たなジョブとして、一つ実装させていただきつつ、もう一つは近接物理 DPS を実装する予
Okay.
定です。
And so
Okay.
the first role
One healer, one range
will
DPS.
be healer, and the second will be melee DPS.
Yeah. Oh, it's melee.
ちょっとね予想ネットのを
Okay,
見てたん
yeah.
ですけど、なぜかですね、
So,
力士が実装されるんじゃないか
I'm not against it, but
予想が結構見えてて、どっからその予想が出てきたのか
That's a lot of melee at
ちょっ
this
と
point.
知りたいんですけど
Dragoon,
So,
monk,
we've been
samurai,
checking out,
ninja.
you know, how what people have been speculating. The
Rogue,
new jobs
ninja.
and,
Yeah. Brain, come on.
The guesses have
Help me out,
been
Brain.
kind of off for the most part.
I'm forgetting one too. There's another one.
結構ねコメントでも近接メレー DPS ってことは力士だろ待ってたみたいなことはあるんですけど、力士ではございません。
So yeah, we're not talking about any sumo wrestlers.
Samurai,
for
ninja.
that melee DPS. It will be something different.
今回トレーラーに登場していた、アルフィノ、彼がまさに
Man, my brain is just not working right now.
しております。
So, as you saw in the trailer, it is Alfino that has changed into that new job specific to Enwa.
今日はですね、その2つ実装するジョブのうち1つ、ヒーラーの新ジョブについてご紹介していこうと思います。
So today, at this announcement showcase, we'll be revealing one of the two new
Ah.
jobs, and that will be the healer job.
では、
Okay.
早速ではありますが、その新ヒーラージョブの、動画をご用意してありますのでご覧いただきましょう。
And so, rather than explaining it, we'd first like you to show you a video of that healer job in action.
Heck yeah.
Here we go.
I love it already. I'm already in. Heck yeah. No! No! Come on now. Okay. Alright, quality will come back up in a minute. I'm here for it. Absolutely. This looks sick. Heck yeah. Heck yeah! Look at that. Yep. 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 Gotta play it. Sage. Heck yeah.
今回ですね、行月のフィナーレ、新ジョブ第1
Sure.
魔力を込めた武器を、操る賢者と
Why not? Yeah, absolutely.
So the
Okay,
first new job for
absolutely.
Endwalker is Sage, sporting a unique ether-imbued weapon.
Yeah.
ちょっとね CG でもご紹介してアートと CG でご紹介していこうと思い
We
ま
have some CG and some art that we'd like to show you.
す。まあ
Very cool.
かっこいいですね。14オリジナルの武器を操ることになります。
Very cool.
So, as you can see, the weapon that the main arm that the Sage will be using is a Final Fantasy XIV original.
まあアルフィノがどのようにこの新ジョブに
Healers, we're sorry we didn't do anything for you last expansion. Here's your cool new toy.
そこはねストーリーの方をご覧
And I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it.
So why did Alfino happen to take up this new profession? You'll have to play through the main story of 6.0 to find out.
Sure.
では賢者のその特
So
徴を
what's the other
簡単
melee
に
DPS
ではありますがご紹介していこうと思います。
We have
So
fists.
now we'd like to give you a
We have
simple rundown of how
knives.
the job actually works.
We have
まず
lances.
賢者の特徴
We
が
have
一つ目
swords.
まあヒーラー先ほどねお伝えしましたロールはヒーラーとなります。
So as we mentioned before, the role is going to be a healer.
白魔導士、
Yeah.
学者、それから先生術師に続く
It looks really cool,
そして
honestly.
今回賢者が追加となります。
I'm so
And
here for
so Sage will
Sage.
be our fourth healer behind White Mage, Scholar, and Astrologian.
そしてですね武器は
No
天
lifts.
狗という
No
オリジナルになりますね、武器を使います。
As we mentioned before, the main arm for the Sage is going to be a Final Fantasy XIV original called the New Liths.
まあ、
New
魔
list.
力でこれを操作するっていう感じなんですけど、後ろにある4つの
Very
武器
stoked right now.
あれがグラフィックス変わっていろんな武器になっていくというふうに
And
思っ
so
てください。
this weapon is controlled by the ether, by the magic that the player has. And as you see, those 4 items back there, that
Very
is the
stoked
weapon.
right now.
The visuals of those will change depending on what type of weapon is equipped.
そしてですね、当然クラスの方は、ございません。ジョブからいきなりスタートとなります。
And as has been the case recently, there is no required class, and you will start directly from the stage.
Nice.
初期レベル
I'm still thinking about the physical DPS, the melee. Could be a hammer.
And the starting level is planned to be 70.
Sure. Makes sense.
いずれかのですね、ジョブがレベル70に到達していて、この今月のフィナーレ、エンドウォーカーの、拡張権利がついていれば、すぐにでもね、
Man, I'm so down for that.
And so there are 2 conditions for playing the stage. One is that you have at least one job, one other job that is level 70 or above,
Makes
as
sense.
well as you have purchased the Endwalker expansion.
Yeah, makes sense.
さあ、ではバトルイメージの方も、簡単にご紹介していこうと思います。
So let's take a look at a little bit. Take a look
It
at
looks so
the
cool
battle
too. Like,
style of the sage.
今回実装となる賢者聖司はバリアヒーラーという役割。
yeah, I saw it use a barrier there. So it'll be
So we
more
look
like
at the sage
Scholar then.
as a barrier type healer.
今までバリアヒーラーというのはですね、まあ学者、まあ白魔同士がね、ピュアヒーラーと呼ばれていて、学者バリアだったよね。で、今回、なるほど。じゃ
I
あ
just noticed one of the new,
賢者はバリアヒーラー
no
と
list
して実
is
装されるので、
pointing at me.
あえ
It looks like it's about to shoot me.
ってなると思うんですけど、
Okay, so as you know, we have
I'm
our
such a
white
dork.
mage, which can be considered a pure healer.
Yeah.
And we have our scholar,
Yeah,
which
which is
more
shielder.
of a barrier healer. And so if this time the sage is also going to be a barrier healer, then what's going to happen with Astrologian?
Which can kind of do both right now.
今回6.0から、ピュアヒーラー2ジョブ、それからバリアヒーラー
They've got 2 options here. They can leave Astrologian where it is and buff White Mage's pure healing, which I mean, White Mage's pure healing is already really good. Or they can turn Astrologian also into a pure healer, which I hope they don't do. But that would be the easiest way to fix it, I guess.
So, starting in 6.0, we are planning to make a clear distinction between pure healers and barrier healers.
Yeah.
We want to have 2 pure healers and 2 barrier healers.
Yeah.
And so, with 6.0, we plan on performing some retooling of the Astrologian job to make the Astrologian job a more pure healer.
As long as they make it fun, I'm okay with it. But I do think some of Astrologian's identity is that it can flip-flop, you know?
バリアヒーラーでマッチングするように、そちらにも手を加えていくつもりです。
And this will extend to our matching in the raid finders to make a distinction between barrier healers and pure healers.
Okay.
さあ、コメントもものすごい
So-
勢いで
What do we see in the comments? They're going so
Interesting. Interesting.
早すぎてわからないよね。
It's going too fast. We can't tell what's going on.
はい。そしてですね、
I feel like that's going to be the first thing that people go, I don't know about.
武器を操っていろんな回復だったりですね、攻撃だったりバリアを張ったりということをやっていきます。
Barriers make sense.
And as
Yeah.
mentioned before, the sage will use ether to manipulate the weapon, the Newless, in combat, whether that be for healing, whether that be for attacking, or whether that be for putting up barriers.
それからですね、まあこれファイナルファンタジー14は各ジョブでゲーム体験を変えていくっていうところをコンセプトにしてるんですけど、賢者の場合は一時的に、自分の魔法を強化していくっていう新しいそのプレイ感っていうのを目指して。
I just realized it's a little odd that Nocturnal Sect is probably going to be the one that gets taken away from Astrologian in the expansion where we go to the moon.
We're trying something here with the sage where they're able to temporarily augment their own magic abilities to make them more powerful.
Okay.
まあその攻防一体っていうところもあったりして、いろいろまたこれまでのヒーラーとは全然異なる体験をお届けしようと思ってますので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。
We believe the experience that we will be providing with the sage will be completely unique and a lot of fun. Please look forward to it.
そしてですね、
It seems cool. I'm definitely gonna play it because I mean I have every class maxed right now, combat class, so like I'm gonna play it.
エンドウォーカーがリリースされてすぐ、ジョブクエストを開放して、
I'm excited for it.
新しいジョブでね、冒険を進めていくことも可能になります。
And so this job quest for the Sage will be offered in Limsa. So if you want to play the new 6.0 main scenario as the Sage, you will be able to do that.
Nice.
もうね、さっきからですね、僕コメントをね、
Still thinking about that melee DPS too. Hammers, right? Geomancer, melee DPS. Here we go.
ファンでるっていう。
Oh yeah, no, it's very much the fin funnels from Gundam.
So
Absolutely.
in the comments you see lots
It's
of
the new
people that are
Gundam.
mentioning kind of Gundam, that the new lists are kind of Gundam.
This new Sage is not just for
よく
show.
わかんないそれに関してはね、まあここに書かれている通り、まあノーコメントとさせていただきたいです。
No comment on
ケングです。お忘れなく、ケン
these
グ
are
という
called
武器です。
new lists. It's completely original.
はい。ではですね、これらを踏まえて、ちょっとイメージついたと思うので、それを踏まえてですね、もう一回動画をご覧いただこうかなと思っております。
All right, so with all of this in mind, let's have one more look at what the Sage can do in that showcase video again.
Sure.
Play the video.
So now we know it can buff its own ability. And it can use ether to manipulate the stuff. And that it's a barrier healer. Seems like we're having trouble playing the video. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm so down for this. It looks so cool, man. The fin funnel healer. Fin funnel healer, man. I feel like I should be freaking out more, but like my hype levels are already at max. It's so cool, man. I want to use funnels. Can it be fall? I want to use funnels.
さあ、というわけで、動画ご覧いただきました。
We're going to the moon.
That was the job showcase video.
まあなんかちょっとおしゃれでスタイリッ
FF4. Oh, he changed his shirt.
Very
Neighborhood.
stylish job, you could say.
The filth and the fury.
Yoshiki?
はい。暑かった。
Sure. You were hot.
暑かった。
Uh-huh. And anything else?
何
Neighborhood.
Anything else?
いや、ノーコメント。
No comment.
Neighborhood.
Okay.
さ
Okay.
あさあさあさあ。まあ新しいジョブのね、賢者。ぜひご期待していただきたいんですけど、まあもう一個追加するよって言ってる近接命令 DPS に関しては、また、
Filth
次の
and the
デジタル
Fury
ファンフェスティバルの方でお届けしていこうかなと思っております。なんかコメントがね、すごいザーザーしてるんですよね。
So we'd like you to please look forward to this new Sage job. Concerning the second job that we have planned for release in Endwalker, we will be revealing that in May at the Digital Fan Festival.
ダークナイトって書いてあって、もういるじゃん。
Dark Knight?
I'm
People are guessing
focused
the
on.
second job is Dark Knight?
意外とあれ
You
です。
already did?
なぜか急にネクロマンサーとか言ってる声も。
Necromancers.
ネクロマンサーさて何のことだろう。
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at it, right? I'm sitting here looking at the fact that Neighborhood is a band,
まあまあまあまあ、そういうわけで、
but
さらなる
obviously that's a necromancer, right? Like, look at it.
More information on the new job at a later date.
I'm so dumb. Like, I'm over here Googling the band and trying to figure out if in that song there's a reference.
はい。
At wrestling, no. Not
さ
I'm so
あ、
dumb.
続いて、
I'm
じゃ
such
あ
an idiot.
進めていこうと思います。
all right.
I'm such an idiot.
続いては、ストーリーにちょっと触れていこうかなと思い
I'm
まして
sitting here going,
Now let's
music-based
talk a little
job
bit about the story,
for Melee?
in Endwalker.
その前にですね、ちょっとタイトルにご注目いただきたい。
To start, I'd like to draw your attention to our
I'm
title.
so stupid.
ファイナル
Oh.
ファンタジー14
Okay. Final Fantasy 14.
エ
Yeah.
ンドウォーカー
Endwalker.
行月のフィナーレ
You translate this, this is the Dawn Moon finale.
Okay.
ファイナルエンド
Finale. Yeah.
Final end finale. I sense a pattern.
意地でも終わるのかみたいな。
It's gonna end.
このキーワードが示すのはメインストーリーの大きなサーガとして約10年にわたって、お届けしてきたハイデリン・ゾディアーク編と呼ばれ
This
て
is the
い
end
る
of the Heidelin
サーガ
Zodiac
が
story.
今回、この6.0行月のフィナーレで完結を迎えます。
So final end and finale, these are all keywords that allude to the ending of this 10-year saga of Heidelin and Zodiac.
Yeah.
こちらですね、まあ、Q14 から続けてきて、僕
Yeah, from here on out, after this, we'll be moving into
レルムリボン
a new story.
させていただきました。
So if you look back at my history with Final Fantasy XIV, it all began in 2013 with A Realm Reborn.
まあ、こちら神聖の朝。
So you look at this as a new morning.
Yeah.
そして拡張パッケージ第1弾ヘブンズワード蒼天のイシュガルドは、まあ蒼天の昼かなと。
And so then we move on to our first large expansion, Heaven's Word, which represented that clear blue sky that you have at midday.
Yeah.
そして2つ目の拡張、東方にも光の戦士の皆さん冒険が広がりました。
This was Sunset.
And then on our second expansion, the
Crimson Twilight.
East.
ストーンブラッドグレンの日暮れと。
Yeah.
And in Stormblood, we came upon a crimson twilight.
Shadowbringers was
そ
night.
して世界中で非常にご好評の声を
That's
いただい
clever.
た
That's clever.
前回の拡張パッケージシャドーブリンガーズ、漆黒の夜となっております。
And then finally, our most recent expansion that was praised around the world by fans, we have Shadowbringers and the Black of Night.
So then
そして今回
Endwalker
次なる
is
拡
the
張
new
パッ
dawn.
ケージ
Yeah.
エンドウォーカーによって、まあ、惑星ハイデリン星の、命を巡る物語というのがちょうど綺麗に一
Yeah, if we get more expansion after this, it'll be its own thing.
完結させていくつもりです。
And with Endwalker, we come full circle in the tale of life and Heidelin.
さて、これまでの拡張パッケージ、ちょっと注意していただきたい
There's still a lot of places we haven't been to yet.
例えば、
On
実は
Heidelin?
今回、前回のシャドーブリンガーズ、まあ、今パッチ 5.4 まで来てますが、5.0 単体でのもちろんエンドロールっていうのもありますが、漆黒のヴィランズの物語が綺麗に最終的に完結するのはパッチ 5.3 でした。
So normally with our expansions, as you know, we don't end the story at that first expansion. While in 5.0, for example, we did get that end credits at the end of 5.0.
Yeah.
The story wasn't actually finished until 5.3.
Right.
今回はこの 6.0 その内容で全て
Yeah, like now that I look at it, obviously it's Necromancer. I'm such a
However,
dummy.
with Endwalker and 6.0, we plan on having the story complete itself by the end of the actual expansion 6.0.
Oh.
ただですね、ちょっとコメントをすごいザーザーしてるんですけど、これでですね、もちろんファイナルファンタジー14が終わってしまうわけではございません。
But of course, this does not
Yeah.
mean
Is
that
Final
we are
Fantasy
shutting
XIV
down
over? No.
Final Fantasy XIV and
It just
ending
means
the
this
game.
saga is done.
パッチ 6.1 からはハイデリン・ゾディアーク編とは異なる新しい物語をスタートさせていくつもりです。
Beginning in patch 6.1, this will mark the beginning of an entirely new adventure separate from the Zodiac Heidelin
Yeah.
saga.
そしてですね、同時にですね、あれ、吉田やめんのかなみたいなコメントがちょっと見受けられるんですが、
And then I've also seen some people thinking that Yoshi-P is leaving the project at this point.
私はやめません、そのままもうなんかほぼライフワークなので、お前もういいよと社長からですね、言われるまではライフワークのよう
He
に
might
ファ
be.
イナルファンタジー14続けていきますので、ぜひですね、まあもちろん 6.0 楽しみに遊んでいただきたいんですけど、その先もですね、まあ死ぬまで頑張ろうかなと思ってるので、ぜひこれからもですね、
It's his life work.
14ともどもですね、僕もよろしくお願いします。
But I want to assure
Okay,
everyone.
yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm
it sounds like he's not
going
leaving,
anywhere.
yeah.
I'm not leaving the project. I look at Final Fantasy XIV as my life work, or at least until the president tells me to stop. But for me, yes, 6.0, we'll be ending the story, but from 6.1 on, we have an even greater story. And I personally feel that I'm probably
Oh no. It'll catch up again. It's done this twice now. We'll be okay. Everything will be okay.
Final Fantasy XIV for my whole life.
はい、時々ね、そろそろやめんじゃないのみたいなの出るんですけど、やめるときはちゃんと言いますし、まあやめる気はないので大丈夫です。はい。
Every now and then I do hear a lot of rumors about people thinking that I might quit and leave the project. If I will leave the project, I will make sure I let you all know. But for now, I feel that this is my life work and I have no plans on leaving.
結構厳しいですね、皆さんね。死んでも続けろって書いてある。
He's earned a brig if he wants it, but if he doesn't want it,
I should
keep going,
continue this even
Yoshi.
after I die. Necromancer? Necromancer?
あ、俺ネクロマンサーって死体操る方じゃないの？自分を操るの？死んだら
I'm the necromancer.
あー、なるほどね。はい、頑張っていきます。
Koji Fox is the necromancer,
I'll
just
do my
keeping
best.
Yoshi P going.
なので別段心配なくですね、このハイデリン・ゾディアークという物語のクライマックスをですね、僕ら全力で皆さんに、お届けしていこうと思うので、それをぜひ味わっていただきたいです。
So again, please do not worry. We're working very hard on the 6.0 story, and we believe it's something very exciting, and hope you look forward to it. And we're working on stuff after that as well.
じゃあストーリーの前段をちょっと。
Speaking of the story,
So let's take a look at the
Onward and
actual,
upward.
content of this story.
heck yeah.
第一世界、
The final days that brought the mighty ancients to their knees to uncover myriad secrets of Hydaelyn, Zodiark, and deeper mystery still. The Warrior of Light embarks on a journey to the moon! Long-awaited conclusion to the tale of gods, light and dark.
So your journey up until now has taken you to another world, the first, where you became the Warrior of Darkness and averted the destruction of the star. And it was there that you learned of the final days, these calamitous events that gave birth to Zodiark and Hydaelyn.
まあ、ゾディアーク、そしてハイデリンとは今どうなっているのかとかね、すべての謎を解き明かすため、プレイヤーの皆さん、光の戦士はついに
To
惑星ハイデリンを離れ、
moon!
月へと向かっていただくことになります。
So what is going on with Zodiark and what is going on with Hydaelyn? How does their story end? We'll learn all about that, as well as depart from Hydaelyn and move to the moon.
Heck
多
yeah.
くのですね、人から受け取った思いを受け継いで、
I have been wanting to go to the moon since 2.0.
People across Hydaelyn are putting all of their hopes and dreams into the Warrior of Light.
And if
to
that ship
save
is
them
called the
from
Lunar
this,
Whale,
as
then
this will
all
be
the
a
better.
journey that will take
Oh
the Warrior
my
of Light
gosh!
there to
FF4,
find
last
out
expansion.
what's going
We
on
were
and to
the
save
Dark Knight. This expansion, we're a paladin. We're going to the moon. It's FF4. It's FF4.
Someone's commenting that for the low
So
price
excited.
of 999 gil, you can teleport to the moon.
いや、わかんないよね。9万ギルとか取られるかもしれないよね。
What? 90,000 gil to the moon.
で、まあ、これまでね、ハイデリン・ゾディアーク編、漆黒のヴィランズでもかなりの謎を解き明かしてきましたが、まだまだ多くの謎残ってます。
Curiouser and
a lot of
curiouser.
questions, have been answered up
Burning
until now in our
questions
expansions,
remain.
but there's still a lot of questions that are left to be answered.
What brought about the final days?
終末というのはそもそ
What
も
became of Hydaelyn and
なぜ
Zodiark?
起きたのか。
What will be the Garlean Empire's
Why?
fate?
What it brought
What is
about
Xenos
the
and
final days?
Fandaniel's aim?
ハイデリンと
What
ゾディア
is
ーク
to be
の
found on the
問題は
moon?
今どうなっているのか。
So hype.
What became of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, and
So
what
hype.
is happening with them now?
そしてガレマール帝国というもともとね非常に強い軍事力でエオルゼアを支配していたガレマール帝国
So excited right now.
And then, of course, you have the Garlean Empire, once a very, very powerful force across the whole realm. What has happened to them? What is their fate?
そして活動し始めたゼノスとアシェン・ファダニエルの目的は何なのか。
And what are Xenos and the Ashians, Fandaniel's aim, and what is their plot?
そしてですね月行くのはいいけどそもそも空気とかねあるのみたいな何あるの月って。
And so all know we're going to the moon, but how are we going to get there? Is there any air?
I'm sorry,
on
I'm
the
tweeting
moon?
right now.
What
I
is on
shouldn't
the
be,
moon?
but I
What
am.
type of monster?
はいまあこれらを、僕ら全力で皆さんに
Zeromus is up there.
きれいに、ストンとですね解き明かされていくように全力
No joke, if we meet someone named Fusoya, I'm going to lose my mind.
Very hard on this story to make something very exciting and to give you all the information you need and answer all of those lingering questions.
まあもちろんねその時光の戦士がどうなっていくのかそれから暁の血明のメンバーがどうなっていくのかそれからですね託された古代人た
Yeah,
ち
it's
から
just
託された
necromancer.
思いという
I
のは
overthought it
どうなるの
completely.
かそれらはぜひ皆さんの目でお確かめください。
So all of these questions will be answered, not just the fate of the Warrior of the Light, but also the fate of the Scions, and we'll find what is the dying wish of the ancients.
I want to know. I want to know all of it.
Endwalker's main scenario.
まあね、月行ったらね、エヴァンゲリオン
This fall.
ね、埋まってるかもしれないね。
Go to the
We'll
moon.
find Evangelion in the moon.
さあではちょっと、キャラクターね、トレーラーの方から見ていきましょう。
All right, so let's have a closer look at the characters that we saw in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Alphino's now a
ま
sage.
ずアルフィノですね、今回、新ジョブ賢者にジョブチェンジしています。アルフィノが着ている衣装が、新ジョブ賢者のジョブ専用装備のアルフィノバージョンですね。
Okay, and so first up we have Alphino, our new resident sage.
Mhm.
The gear that he's wearing in the trailer is the Sage AF gear, but it's been
Nice.
designed especially for
Yeah,
him.
for him. Yeah.
そして
Yeah. Alisaie's still a red mage.
アリゼですね。
And then next up,
Every
we have his twin
expansion,
sister, Alize.
one of the Scions changes
彼女は
jobs.
魔導士としてどうやら戦っていくようです。
And as you can see, she is still fighting as a red mage. No job change for her.
でようやくですね、どうやら彼女新しいコスチューム
I
に
say
着替えるよう
one,
です
sometimes
ちょっとね
multiple.
寂しそうだったんで
Shola became a
着替え
black
るらしい
mage, and
But
Thancred
she
became a
will be
gunbreaker.
getting a costume change. She didn't get one before. She's finally getting one.
まあ
Nice.
このコスチュームがですね、誰にどういう思いとともに、渡されていくのかというところにもちょっとご注目いただければと思ってます。
And you may be surprised to see who she gets it from and how.
Not Tataru.
そして
Okay.
続いてはですね、
And Daniel?
アシエンファダニエル
Okay, next up we have the Ashian Fandaniel.
まあ、転生組のアシエン・ファダニエルですが、グレー編に登場した朝日というキャラクター
Yeah,
の
he's taking
体を
Asahi's body.
利用する彼の目的がね、果たして何なのか。
Right, and so the Sundered Ashian Fandaniel, as you know, he currently inhabits the corpse of Asahi, who first appeared in Stormblood, but we still don't know too much about him.
Yeah.
結構ね、彼ね、嫌われてるんですよね。
Yeah, a lot of people love to hate this guy.
ただですね、大丈夫、ご安心ください。彼はラスボスではございません。
Trevon
Or he
Shed's
is
out there
not
still
the
too.
last boss.
No,
まあ
that's Zeromus.
ラスボスじゃないんですけど
Zeromus'
まあ
last
彼にはね
boss.
さらに実はまだ大きな秘密があるんですが、そちらもかなり完全なスポイラーになるので、単純なお話ではないというのだけお伝えしておきます。
And he's keeping a pretty big secret, a very complex secret. And if we say any more, it'll be too much spoilers, so we're going to stop right here.
はい、そしてトレーラーもう一人出てましたね。
Right, and last but not least, we have
Xenos,
ゼノス、
えー
彼もまたですね、表舞台へ
Galvus
と登場しそうですが、ま
a
あ、彼の
person,
望みは
character
とにか
that
く
I absolutely
友や
love.
皆
A
さん
lot of
と
people
対
don't,
戦した
but I
英雄
love
と
Xenos.
対戦したいというだ
Xenos
け
is
です
great.
And he's ready to take the stage once again, and he has a singular purpose. His one purpose in life is to battle with his friend and enemy, the Warrior of Light.
いやいや、もちろんね、皆さんが彼のことを友達だと思ってないというのは僕もよく知ってます。
Yeah, and we understand that not a lot of you think of him as a friend.
ただですね、彼の友情は一方的で非常に強いので、もうちょっと諦めてください。
But he most certainly feels that way about you. You
Yeah.
are his friend.
まあどうやらね、彼もなんかまた若干コスチューム違う気もしますが、さて。
Yeah, he's
どう
definitely
な
getting a
ってい
costume
く
change,
のか
right?
And it
お
does
楽し
look
みに。
like he has a change of wardrobe as well. But to find out any more, we'll have to play Endwalker.
さあ、行月のフィナーレではですね、もっとたくさんのキャラクター登場してですね、ある意味ハイデリンゾディアク編、皆さんが10年以上にわたって、冒険してきた、一旦の総決算になる予定なので、どんなキャラクターが入り乱れてくるのか、ぜひご期待ください。
And you know, it has been 10 years since the beginning of this Heidelin and Zodiac saga, and you've met a lot of characters along the way, and we hope to bring back a lot of those characters for this story
Yeah.
in 6.0.
Bring
まあ、ストーリー
back
についてはね
Trevon Chet.
全ての謎を解き明かしていくので、ちょっとこれ以上はネタバレが多すぎるので、ここまでにさせていただきますが、
So there are a lot more mysteries regarding the game's story, but it's so hard to talk about it further without revealing any spoilers. So
You can talk a little bit
まあ
more.
漆黒の
You
ヴィ
can
ラン
you
ズ
can
で
tell
す
me
ね
some more
驚い
stuff. It's
ただ
okay.
いたようにファイナルファンタジー
It's okay. You can tell us a little bit
そんな
more.
単純な話で終わるかと いうのだけなんとなく思っといてもらえれば、びっくりしてもらえる仕掛け
You can drop the
用意し
name
ていきたいと思います。
Unicall High. You can drop that
And
name.
as was the case with Shadowbringers, this story is not going to be a simple one. It's going to be a very complex
I'm sure.
and intricate story that will sure to bring lots of surprises and excitement.
はい、では、続いて 6.0 エンドウォーカーの全体像についてちょっとお伝えしていこうと思います。
Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about the story, let's get into
Yeah.
some of the content that will be make it into the game.
さあまず最初のセクションこちらです。
So we're going to start with
レベル
Of
キャッ
course.
プが
Yeah.
解放と
Higher
な
level
り
cap.
ます。
Is that some of our gear? Because if so, that samurai and that black mage gear looks good.
こちらですね。
That white mage gear is okay, but look at that Sam gear. I want that,
going
man.
up from 80 to 90. I mean, pretty much everyone.
I have
saw
two
this one.
characters that could use
ま
that.
もなく100ですよ。
But we'll soon almost be at 100. We're very close.
ずいぶん頑張って続けてきたね。
It's been a long, long road.
はい、そして、拡張パッケージといえば新しいフィールドの
Man, I love that Sam gear. That black mage gear looks really good. Is that a cat? Why does the black mage have a cat behind it?
Cannot have an expansion without new areas, and we're planning
That-
to add
that-
new locales on the
That
same
fending gear
scale
looks
as
pretty
we
good
have
too,
had
honestly.
in our previous expansions.
ではですね、現段階でお見せできる
Is that
アートワーク
Evilise?
とスクリーンショットで一部だけ
Is that
一
Evilise?
部になっちゃいますがご紹介していこうと思います。
So today we can't show much, but we do have a few screenshots and pieces of artwork to show you of some of the new areas.
That's looking like Evilise.
ショータウン
So we're starting off with one of our smaller towns.
ご紹介したいと思います。こちら
And this is it.
どこだこれ、
Wonder where this is.
こちらの名前はですね、
I love it.
ラザ
Ranzan!
町になります。
And the name of this city will be Razathan.
Yeah!
もうちょっと近づいて
Yes!
スクリーンショット見てみまし
Let's take a closer look.
ょうか。
Yes!
入り口かな
I'm losing my
This is a
mind right
screenshot of
now.
Maybe the entrance, the main entrance gate.
How long have I wanted to go to Ranzan?
プレイヤーの皆さんに
Oh my gosh!
14って拡張するとってこう大タウンと小タウンっていうのがあって
Ranzan?
漆黒のヴィランズだと、まあ、ユールモアに該当する場所だと思ってください。クリスタリウムじゃなくてね。
So with each expansion, we usually release two towns, one smaller town and one larger town. This is going to be the smaller town for 6.0, kind of on the same scale as Yulmore from 5.0.
じゃあ 6.0 でいうクリスタリウムに該当する
Oh,
大タウン
man.
はどこなんだよって聞かれるとそれはまだない
I'm so stoked for it.
As for what the large town is going to be like, we really cannot talk about that yet.
Oh, because it's going to be on the
ではちょっ
moon.
と建物の中も少し見てみましょ
So let's go inside the town. Take a look.
う。
Yes.
エーテライトが回ってますね。
Yeah, is it right
Yes.
there?
今までのファイナルファンタジー14のまた文化圏にないところへ、行っていただくことになるかなと。
The design here
It's
has a
like-
cultural flair that's a little bit different.
How much
from
of a
anything you've
lore
seen
nerd
in
am I
Final Fantasy.
when I'm like losing my mind over
まあ
this
これ
way
ど
more
こなん
than
だって
Sage?
いうと
even
です
though
ね
I'm
まあ
stoked
こちら
for
をご覧い
Sage.
ただければなんですけど
Look at
ファイナル
Thavnair,
ファン
man.
タジー14のシナリオに
Look
これ
at
まで
Thavnair.
クエストとかですねサベネア島っていう場所が、たくさん言葉としては出てきて
I've
ます。
wanted to go to Thavnair for
So where
so
exactly
long.
is Razathan? Well, a lot of players that have been playing 14 for a long time will know, have heard the term Thavnair, the region
Yep.
of Thavnair,
Yep.
as it has appeared
Yep.
a lot since back in the early days of Final
Yep.
Fantasy 14.
There's been references to it from as early as 1.0.
の地でもありますね。
If you
We've met
remember, the
multiple
dancers,
characters from
most of
Thavnair.
the, original dancer outfits and fashion comes
Hmm.
from the island of Thavnair.
そのサベネア島一つが
Yeah, it's an island
ある
that's
と
on
新し
its
いフィールド
way
として登場してそこに
towards
ショ
the
ータウン
east,
の
but
ラ
not
ザハン
that
が
far
あ
out.
るというふうに思ってください。
And so, one of our new areas is going to be that complete island of Thavnair, along with the town of Razathan inside of
The
it.
complete
まあ
island
こ
of
れまで登場
Thavnair?
してこなかった亜熱帯のようなね地域となってます。まあどんな冒険があるのか楽しみにお待ちください。
The whole area has a very subtropical feel to it that is original to 6.0.
もう一個紹介していきましょうじゃあ。
Right, let's take a look at another location.
なんかもう一転してなんだこれみたい
What could this place be? It's completely different from Razathan.
な。こちら新しいフィールドの名前はですね こうな
Name
り
of
ま
this
す
new。field?
That's Garlemald.
帝国の
I was gonna
首都の
ask,
果
could
て
it
であ
be?
るガレ
It's
マルド
Garlemald.
が
Yeah,
フィール
it
ドと
is.
して
Yep.
登場します
Mm.
が、なんだか大変なことになってるっぽいですね。
The capital of the Garlean Empire? Garlemald.
Garlemald!
Although it looks a little
Yeah.
like it's broken down a bit.
こちらもですね、ちょっと見て
Heck
み
yeah.
ましょう、スクリーンショット。
Heck
Let's take
yeah.
a look at a screenshot.
いやー、
Heck
なん
yeah,
か
man.
どんな国だったのかなと思いきや、ボロッボロになってますね。
So we always thought of the Garlean Empire as a majestic place.
Mr.
But if you look at
Yoshi,
it
take
here,
me to
it's pretty
Ilsabard.
run down. I wonder what happened to it.
まあ一体ね、どういう経緯でこうなっているのか、それから光の選手の皆さんはどういう経
We
緯で
get
こ
the
こ
whole
に来る
island of
ことになる
Thavnair.
のか、謎ね。
We
い
get
っぱい
Garlemald.
あります。
And we get the
So how
moon?
did, this area
You're
turn this
spoiling
way,
me.
and why
You're spoiling
does
me.
the Warrior of Light have to go there, and what will he or she find there?
まあここでもね、非常に大きなドラマが光の選手皆さんを待ち受けています。
There's a very deep and intricate story that is related to this area.
まあ行くときはですね、ぜひ心して、向かっていただきたいと思います。
Very
Get
deep and
ready for
interesting
your
story. Yeah, I bet there is. I bet there is.
そしてですね、ま
Oh,
あ、新しい
man,
フィール
okay.
ドがあると、当然新しい出
All right.
会いっていうのも、出てきます。
And of course,
I have to calm down. I have
what
to
would
calm
new
down.
areas be without new tribes to live in them?
はい
Yeah. It beats
まあ
tribes.
こういう新しい獣人たちとのね、出会い
What's
という
next?
のも待ってます、きっと。
What's left?
So in 6.0, you will
The
be
Mamulja?
meeting some new tribes.
なんか若干このセンターでさ、ナマズをさ、主人公感出してるの、イラッとこない。
So this artwork, yeah, you can see right in the middle is the Namazu kind of there, looking like he's the
Where are
best,
the
the
Kikirin
leader.
なんか私が主役で
in
す
this
ね。
image?
He's the hero.
今回、まあちょっと一部になりますが、新たな獣人、名前はマタンガ、その中でも
The
アルカソーナ
Matanga.
族という、種族が登場してきます。
So our new tribe
Matanga.
that you will be meeting are the
Why does that
Matanga,
name
and
sound
it's the
familiar?
Arkasodra tribe.
これ、
That name sounds
す
so
でにね、出
familiar.
会ってる人は出会ってるんですよ。
Some people may recognize this.
アジムステップですね
Matanga.
非常に敵対してくる
From the Azim
モ
Step.
ハントのモンスターがいたりするんですけど、その中でも友好的な
Yeah, those are the
Eh,
Matanga is the name of the elephant monster, right?
先ほど紹介したサベネア島で出会いを
Seriously?
ます。
So in the Azim steppe, especially those players that participate in the hunt, have maybe encountered one of these
Yes!
very aggressive
What?
beasts before. However, the ones that you will be meeting in 6.0, you'll be meeting in the Thavnair, are a little bit more friendly. At least those
Sure.
from the Arkasodra tribe.
宝の地図ダンジョンで、ね、
Sure.
結構象モチーフでいろんなね
I told you I'm a huge lore nerd. I knew the name when I saw it. I just didn't place what it was. And when Yoshi P said Azim Step, my brain went, "That's the elephant monster. We're not gonna."
We
Yeah,
players
okay.
may recognize some of the elephant-like designs from some of the treasure hunts that they've gone on in the past.
Yeah.
Finally going to that area and seeing the inspiration for that type of statuary.
Sure.
獣人は他にもいるんですけど、もうちょっと、公開お待ちいただきたいと思ってます。
I'm floored, but I'm with it.
好きですしね。
And we have many more tribes to introduce.
Many more.
But we can't introduce them today. Those will be saved
But
for
at least
later.
two more.
But thinking about it, we will be going to the moon, so
ファイナルファンタジーで月か。
it's Final Fantasy. We're going to the moon. What could be on the moon?
というわけで、
Zeramus
またご紹介していこうと思います。
And that's enough. We'll talk about it later.
はい、当然ですね、まあいい出会いもあれば悪い出会いもございます。
But again, you won't be just making friends in the next expansion. There will be
The moon
threats to
race,
deal
right?
with.
That's what they're
夜道では
referencing?
会いたくありませんが、まあこんなやつとの出会いがあったりしますね。
Is that
This is one of the things that we'll be waiting for.
is that anima?
ファイナルファンタジー10が好きだという方は
Yeah!
わかるのかなと思うんです
So if
が
there are fans of Final Fantasy X out there, they might recognize this creature.
Yeah.
アニマという
Anybody's ever been like, Trey, you don't know anything about Final Fantasy. You're a huge fool.
で、まあ今回ですね、
Really?
ファイナルファンタジー10の時に
I think I
アニ
just
マを
proved
作画し
I'm
た
not.
スタッフはファイナルファンタジー14のアートスタッフでもあるんですよ。彼が14用に改めてアニマを、14用にですね、まあいろいろ理由があるんで書いたのがこちらになりますね。
And so, the original designer of Anima, the art designer of Anima in Final Fantasy X is actually a member of the art team on Final Fantasy XIV.
That's
and
great. That's
recreated,
amazing.
The design for Anima
That's
to
amazing.
fit the Final Fantasy XIV game.
はい、そして、も
That's
ちろん
amazing.
多数の
That's
新
so
ダン
good.
ジョンも登場してまいります。
And like our past expansions, we'll be adding a lot of new dungeons.
こちらもですね、スクリーンショット、それからアートワーク等々ちょっと見て
So one of them's in
Right, and we
Garlemald.
have some screenshots and art that we'd like to
One
show
of
you.
them's in Thavner.
まあ
This one's in
ここはアートに
Thavner.
なっちゃいますかね。
This is mostly art today, I guess.
Oh, of
Oh,
course, the Hummingways. That's what he's talking about for the
世界終わ
moon
りそう
beast
な
race.
感じになってますね。
Hummingways,
Look at this, looks like
100%.
we're getting close to the end of the world.
Yeah.
なんか巨大なものも立ってますし、遺跡らしく。
So is the moon gonna get turned
Ruins
into
and
a new
large
weapon?
statues.
なんとなくサベネアっぽいかなこれ。
Is that what's gonna
綺麗
happen here?
綺麗だったのにね。
It
And
looks
that's why
a
we're
little
gonna
bit
have
like
to go to the
Thavner,
moon?
but a lot different from what we just saw.
Yeah.
そしてこんな場所も出てきます。
I thought this was Garlemald. This is inside the moon, isn't it?
一転してちょっと有機生命体っぽいところになってきてますね。
Looks very biological
Is this
or like.
Barbarizia and
さらに
Cognazzo?
And we have this as well.
お
今度はなんだろう、列車なのかな。
Looks sort of like
It's
a
a train, yeah.
まあ皆さんを待ち受ける今回 6.0 のダンジョン。
We go to Garlemald for this so we can get the lunar whale to go to the moon.
ファンタジー要素、それから
Is the lunar whale a dungeon? Is that what that last thing was? Was the inside of the lunar whale?
いろんな要素が、皆さんを待ち構えています。
Tower of Babel?
And so, with as usually is the case with our dungeons,
Giant
that
of
we add,
Babel?
we'll be
Same
visiting
difference?
Most of them
Technic-
during the main
In a lot,
scenario.
never mind.
But this time we have a
FF4
wide
is what I'm
variety
just FF4 in my
some
mind.
that are very high fantasy, some that have maybe ancient ruins, as well as some that have a very modern feel.
変化に富んだダンジョンをいろいろ現在ね、ものすごい勢いで制作中なので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。
We're currently in the process of creating all of these new exciting dungeons, and we hope you look forward to them.
Yeah.
それではさらにバトルコンテンツちょっと続けていこうと思うんですが、まあ皆さんが、楽しみにしている大きな要素の一つかと思います。こちら。
Okay, now we're going to talk about another one of our battle contents that we have planned.
希望のそのエデン
What's this
という
raid
シ
tier
リ
gonna
ー
be
ズが
about?
パッチ 5.4 で無事に完結して我々開発チーム新しい高難易度レイドの8人レイドの開発に取り組んでます。
And so, with the story of Eden finally concluded, we've been hard at work preparing a new 8-person raid.
こちらイメージイラストご用意しております。
It's too early to give details, but we have some
Sure.
art to show you.
なんかどっかで見たことある人かな。
This guy kind of looks familiar. I've seen him somewhere before.
このマークなんかどっかで見たことあるんだけど。
Yeah, this mark.
It's left.
I've seen it somewhere before.
ラハブ
Well, like La Habrea is dead though, right? Lahi. La Habrea is dead
こ
though.
ちら高難易度レイドのタイトルとしてバンマデンパンデモニウムというシリーズでお届けしていきます。
We can tell you the title. The title will be Pandemonium.
はい。このレイドがですね、どんな場所
Okay.
で、行われるのかというのは
FF2
ちょっと伏せていきます。かなり特殊かなと思ってます。
We're going up
So we cannot
for the
stop
main story.
where this
We're
raid
going
will be.
down.
It's going to be very, very unique
FF2.
to Final Fantasy XIV.
まあ、今回ね、6.0 でハイデリンゾディアーク編というのをきれいに一旦完結させ
Pandemonium.
ますので、まあ、それも含めてですね、世界の、まあ、残された
We're gonna have to go fight all the main villains that we fought before, aren't we? That we killed.
完全14オリジナルのレイドとして、
Oh, if we have to fight him at Silk.
In conjunction
In
with that
Pandemonium.
story that we're completing of the Highland and Zodiac
Oh.
Saga, we plan to tell this new, completely original Final Fantasy XIV story of Pandemonium.
はい。 もちろんコーナーレイドはね、コーナーレイドだけではなくアライアンスレイドも、新しいシリーズをお届けしていこうと思います。
New
Of
Alliance
course,
raid?
It's not going to we're not only going to be releasing high-end raids, but a new alliance raid as well.
Right.
今進行中のヨルハダークアポカリプス、
Yorha,
ニーヤシリーズ
Ivalice,
このクロスオーバーで進めています。
Void
まあ
Arc. There's like a whole
1.5
saga for it,
また楽しみに
and
していただければと思
Crystal
うん
Tower.
ですが、我々開発チームさらにその次の、企画をスタートしてます。
My brain just goes
So we're
Void Arc.
currently approaching the end of the Yorha Dark Apocalypse
Yeah,
alliance raid.
coming
which will
soon.
Complete in 5.5. But in the background, we're also working on a new alliance raid.
でこちらどんな内容なのかは次のデジタルファンフェスでお伝えしようと思ってるんですが、今回は14オリジナルのストーリー展開でお届けしますが、エオルゼアにある古くからある大きな謎を扱っていくので、まあ14の中の、サーガ完結1個目のサーガ、ね
Really?
完結に向けてかなり濃い話になっていくので、これもぜひ楽しみにしてください。
So we plan to release more info on this new alliance raid at our digital fan festival. But we'd like to tell you that it is a completely original Final Fantasy XIV original alliance raid. It is not a crossover. And
Very
it
cool.
will be centering on a piece of Eorzean lore that has remained steeped in mystery for a long time.
結構ね謎の存在がねまだ残ってるんですよね。
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions that haven't been answered for a long time. So,
See Gilmora?
ディブランドかって言ってるから
is
結
it
構
Hildebrand? Hildebrand alliance raid?
はい、ではさらに続けていきましょう。
Gilmora?
Right, let's continue on.
Silda.
今回我々、
Oh, okay.
6.x
I'll be thinking about what the mystery of Eorzea that hasn't been answered yet for a long time. So yeah, let's continue on.
開発進めております。
So we're also working on new PvP content
Sure.
that is more small scale than what we currently have.
まあフィーストをねこの先どうしていくの、今ある少人数 PVP のフィーストをどうしていくのってまあお声も頂戴してるんですけど、僕らが今計画しているのは、ロールの概念を廃止してフリーロールでもっとカジュアルに、楽しんでいける、熱くなれる PVP という新しいコンテンツを制作しています。
So currently, our plan here is to create new PvP content that feels more casual and more immersive by
Sure.
removing role restrictions.
でこれまで以上にマッチングしやすくかつ気軽で奥深くねレーティングにチャレンジしていく人はいけるみたいなところで、開発を進めています。
And our goal is to make something that makes matching easier than before and casual yet immersive
Sure.
in its gameplay.
でリワードに関しても、まあ、報酬に関しても、まあ、単純なギアとか、まあ、ギアとかももちろんありますけど、それ以外に全く新しい報酬カテゴリーというのを用意していろんな人に楽しんでもらえるように、鋭意ね企画の方を進めてます、開発進めているので、こちらも続報にぜひご注目いただければと思います。
And we're also working on a new type of reward system for this new PvP as well that doesn't focus solely on gear. Of course, there'll be gear, but we want
Right.
to have a new category of reward as well to, again, open this up to a lot of new players.
Sure.
はい。でもちろんねバトルコンテンツ以外にも大小さまざまな、コンテンツ遊び実装されていきます。
Okay, in addition to
Going to
battle
Rad's at
content,
home.
we also have a lot of other content as well.
じゃあサクサクいきましょう。
Let's take a look.
まず新たなサイド
Sure.
クエストもたくさん、拡張といえば
Request,
実装され
Crafter
てい
and
き
Gather
ます。
request.
So we are planning to add a lot of new quests.
Silda.
今回その漆黒のヴィランズね新たにロールクエストっていう仕組みが実装されましたが、もちろん今回も用意されてます。
I don't know what
With
that
5.0
alliance raid
battle
is going to
range,
be about
we
yet.
introduced a new system, a new
I need
type of
more time
quest
to think
called
on it.
role quests. We
Need
plan
more
on
time to
continuing
think on
those in 6.0.
でただちょっと漆黒のヴィランズと一部変更させていただいてます。
But we're going to be making one slight change to that system.
これまではタンク、ヒーラー、近接 DPS、遠隔 DPS という4つのロールに分けてロールクエストを展開してました。
So up until now, there were originally 4 categories
Yeah.
that would
Tank,
split these role
healer,
quests into
ranged,
tank,
and
healer,
melee.
melee DPS, and range DPS.
さすがにちょっとざっくりしすぎてたなという反省からですね、タンク、ヒーラー、近接物理 DPS、遠隔物理 DPS、魔法 DPS というふうにロールを1個追加して、クエストをご用意しようと思ってます。
we're going to now be expanding that from 4 different types to 5 different types, making it tank,
Okay.
healer, melee,
Range.
physical DPS,
Yeah, melee,
ranged,
physical
DPS,
ranged, and magical
magic
range.
DPS.
Yeah, makes
まあ
sense.
その分ね、お話と体験にちゃんとフォーカスしやすくなるので、クオリティ高いものをお届けしていこうと思ってま
And
す。
this will allow us to focus more directly on each type of role and make a deeper story.
もちろんギャザラークラフターの皆さんに向けた5.0 でいう民工芸館のような一つ
Man,
の場所
what
によっ
is-
てみんなでいろんなロールのクエストをやっていくっていうところももちろん用意してま
What is
す。
that new melee job gonna
And
be?
there's also plenty of
Necromancer,
role
right?
quests that
But,
are
like-
planned for crafters and gatherers as well, such as
How
those
is it gonna
offered in
play?
5.0's The Crystalline Mean.
まあ名前言いたいんですけど、大タウンの名前言ってないんでまだ言えないですね。
I want to tell you more about it, but because we haven't talked about the large town yet, I can't say anything.
はい、もちろん多数のね新装備、
Sure.
それから新しいクラフトギア、用意されてます。
And of course, there won't be just role quests for crafters, but also we've developed plenty of new craftable
That
gear
alchemist
as-
half coat looks pretty cool.
それから続いてフェイスシステムにも、アップ
Okay.
デートがあります。
Updating the trust. Let's go for it.
Right, next is an update to our trust system.
今月のフィナーレに向けてフェイスの NPC が追加となります。
We will be adding a special someone to join you as companion.
ちょ
Yeah.
っとね楽しみにしてる人いると思うんだよ
A
な。
I know
lot
who
of
we're
you
talking
have
about.
been waiting for this guy.
この方フェイスに追加となります。
And this is who it is.
新たにですね、エスティニア
Heck
が
yeah.
有機士として参加することになります。近接 DPS としてね、参加するので。
You say, well, Trey, how did you know they were gonna add Estinian as a role quest? Because it's FF4. You're Cecil. The Warrior of Light
Will
is
be
Cecil
joining
as the
the trust
Paladin.
system as, of
You
course,
need
a
your
dragon.
cane.
And then being a melee DPS character, this will hopefully help alleviate that glaring lack of
Yeah.
Melee DPS characters in the Scions.
Mhm.
まあ彼がね、どういった経
Man,
緯
if
で
Justinian joins up for
まあ
good, like, I'm
一人で
set.
動くの好きですから暁と行動を共にするようになるかというのは近日リリースされるパッチ 5.5 とそれからそのあたりからのねメインストーリーの流れをぜひ注目していてください。
But again, why would a lone wolf like Estinian join this group of the Scions? You have to wait and find out, but information is coming if you play in 5.5.
あのね
Heck yeah.
裏切りそうって YouTube で書いてある。
No, he won't betray us. He won't betray us.
He's the cane. He's going to betray
結
us.
構裏切るからね。
Dragoons in Final Fantasy usually betray.
まあ一回やってるから多分大丈夫だと思うんですけどね。
It's gonna
Betrayed
happen.
once, he won't do it again.
Gonna happen.
フェイスというシステムの活用は、まあ、これに、まあ、キャラクターの追加にとどまらず一応今実は計画していることはあるんですけどまだ今ちょっと計画中なので今日具体的にお知らせするのが難しいです。
And of course, we have further plans for the trust system, not only just adding new characters, but also making adjustments to that
Sure.
system as well. But we cannot talk about them yet today because
Right.
it's still a little bit too early.
はい、キャラを追加するだけじゃなくて、フェイス
My
を利
brain
用して
keeps
今後
going,
さらに
the
できる
shirt
よ
also
みたいな
says
と
the
ころ
Fury.
は
What if it's
今後
Berserker?
PLL とかでも
But
え
no,
ー
it's
と
definitely gonna be
進捗があり次第
Necromancer.
お伝えさせていただこうと思ってます。
Again, not just adding new characters, but also adding new types of activities and types of duties for your companions to take part in. Again, we won't talk any more today about it, but we have exciting information coming up in future producer letter lives.
Sure.
そしてですね、続いてこちらゴールドソーサーにも
Okay.
新たなコンテン
Sure,
ツ
why
を
not?
追加を予定してます。
Right? We are also planning an update to the gold saucer with new content.
特にですね規模としては土間式麻雀というものにまあ並ぶぐらいちょっと大きなものを今
Still thinking about the Alliance for AIDS,
The
man.
current plan is to add something almost as big as the recent edition of Mahjong.
みんなどういうものが欲しい
Really? Like a
What
whole
does
new
everybody want?
subsystem?
やっぱりこ
あ
うブリッツボールが
Blitz ball.
多い
Blitzball.
ブリッツボール
Blitzball, 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 blitzball.
People really want Blitzball, man.
Fall guys.
ボールが
All guys, hold on
まあ
now.
ねなんか今回のデータで
FF14 Fall Guys.
あとスノーボードね
Snowboarding as well. Blitzball, snowboarding, Fall guys.
お前やたら相撲って言ってる人いるんでねさっきからね
Even sumo,
Fall
of
Guys.
course, sumo.
はい、
Yeah.
ちょっとこれまだ詳細が言えないのでただかなり大きなしかも プレイヤーの皆さんのキャラクターを使って楽しんでいける、しかも誰でも楽しんでいけるような新しい、しかもねマルチプレイできるような、コンテンツを今計画してます。これももうちょっとしたら多分お伝えできると思うのでお伝えしていこうかなと思ってます。
We plan on it being, again, like we said, plan on it being very big, something for all players, multiplay. But again, we can't talk too much about it now, as haven't enough to tell you. But
Yeah, they haven't got the license for Fall Guys yet,
so
so
please
you know.
look forward to it.
麻雀をね丸ごと入れてしまうようなクレイジーな14開発チームですから、何が来るのかいろいろ予想をしていただければと思います。
I mean, the team is crazy enough to put the full game of Mahjong into 14, so we know that something big is coming.
続いては新コンテンツになります。
All right, the next we're going to introduce a new piece of content that we've been working on.
さて何やらね非常に楽しそうなイメージ
I didn't expect this.
あります。
You can,
Is this
from the artwork, you can
minions
see
and
that it's
mounts?
pretty fun and relaxing.
Is this a farm?
こちらの
Can I have a farm in 14?
タイトルをですね無人島開拓と今呼んでおります。
So the title for this that we have now is The Island Sanctuary.
I'm extremely intimidated right now, but I want it so bad. Let me farm in
Currently working on
14.
this content where Final Fantasy 14 players' adventurers can enjoy a bit of slow living.
ギャザラークラフターをプレイしていなくても楽しむことができます。
And again, this is not just something that is limited to crafters and gatherers.
Can I hang out on an island with my pets and my mounts?
みんなプレイできる。
Of course, crafters and gatherers will be able to do different types of things here, but of course, this is something for everyone.
例えばですけど動物の飼育をしたり、
For example, you might be raising animals.
島を開拓してね、そこで採れた特産物で貿易をしていったり、
And maybe cultivating the land of this uninhabited
I'm for it.
island,
I'm here. Let's do
and
it.
taking the fruits of your labor and selling them.
Heck yeah.
ミニオンを放し飼いにしたりと、そういった要素満載でスローライフをね楽しむためのコンテンツになって
I'm
い
here
ます。
for it. I'm here
Maybe,
for it.
Throwing your minions out there on the range and letting them roam.
Yes.
コメントで結構あってですね、これ開発チームこれね日本人限定のネタで申し訳ないんですけど、我々開発最初のコードネームダッシュ島って言ってました。
So the dev team has been calling this island the Dash Island from a
Dash
Japanese TV
Island?
show.
Okay.
いや本当にズバリそういう楽しみ方できるといいよねみたい
It's
な。
kind of like that, where you take a deserted island and you
はい
make it into something that's your own.
こちらですね、パッチ
Is it
6.X シリーズ
Harvest
全体を
Moon?
通じてアップデートをし開拓を
No, I'm
進めていく
super here for
みたいな
that.
構
I'm
想
super
で
here for
今
that.
開発を進めてますので、ほのぼのとファイナルファンタジー14を楽しんでいる皆さん、ぜひね、ご期待いただければと思います。
So players will be able to enjoy the activities in the sanctuary over the entirety of the 6.x series as we update it. And
Cool.
so I hope you're looking forward to it and the slow life that it brings.
Yeah, I'm super here for
そ
that.
して皆さん、現在進行
Let me
形
fish
で
off
です
the
ね
dock of my
パ
own
ッチ
island.
非常にね、とある地域の復興に努力を捧げてきてくださいました。
Next up is something that I believe you guys are all
So
currently
soaked right
working
now.
on.
そうです皆さん
Yeah,
イシュ
Ishgard
ガードの
restoration.
復興に
Just be Ishgard housing. I mean, obviously it's Ishgard housing. Look at it. Look at
Yes,
it.
crafters all over the world have poured their heart into the rebuilding of the firmament and Ishgard restoration.
イシュガルドの民がですね、皆さん、冒険者の皆さんに感謝の気持ちとしてですね、冒険者に、居住区を開放したいとおっしゃっております。
And inspired by that work, the city wants to present a new housing area
Yeah, as we knew it
to
would.
those that have worked hard to rebuild the firmament.
これまで 4.0 の時かな、ハウジングエリア追加した時と同じで 6.0 がスタートしたタイミングで、冒険者居住区のエリア開放はします。
Be a lot more houses that open up soon.
Just like we have since 4.0, at the release of 6.0, we will be opening the area for players to go in and look at.
ただほらやることすごいたくさんあるので、どの土地にしようかなっていう見学を
Be
し
a
て
lot of houses that open up now.
6.1のタイミングで購入できるようにというふうにしていきますので、ぜひですね、6.0空いてちょっとゲームプレイ落ち着いたらどうしようかなみたいなのを話し合ってもらえればと思います。
So at the launch of 6.0, players can go to the residential area and look around and see what might be a good place to get a plot of land. But the actual purchase of that won't be available till 6.1 because again, there's a lot of stuff to do in 6.0 before having to worry about getting that plot of land.
で区画の数とかは他のハウジングエリアと全く同じ数で用意させていただきますし、もちろんアパートメントもございます。
And currently the plan is to have the exact same number of wards as all of the other housing residential districts
Good.
in Eorzea, as well as having apartments as well.
でもちろんね、全体的にその継続してね、土地不足であるというお声たくさん頂戴しているので、そちらの努力も
The housing system is one thing that I think FF14 has
Because we
messed up a
understand
lot.
this is very important for players,
So-
and a lot of feedback has been given about this. We are continuing our efforts to make sure that there will be enough plots available.
まあ、今回ね、皆さんが復興していただいたのは想定外なので、まあ、全くそれと同じグラフィックかって言われるとさあ、まあ、どうなりますかっていう感じではありますけど、まあ、大体イメージは掴んでもらえるんじゃないかなと思います。
And whether or not it will be exactly like the firmament that you are currently rebuilding now, that's left to be said, but it will give you a very good idea of what that residential area will look like.
はい。で、ちょっと駆け足ではあるんですけど、今回 6.0 でね、実装される、まあ一部コンテンツのご紹介。
Very cool.
細かいところはまだ
I'm
まだあ
down
るんですけ
for
ど、
more wards
ま
for
た
sure.
今後ファンフェスでよりね、
That'll help balance a
詳しく
lot
お
of
伝えできれ
what
ばと思います。
we have,
All right,
but
so I think we've
they'll be gone immediately,
covered
of
all
course,
types of
but,
new
you know.
content that we can talk about today, though we have lots more to reveal in future shows.
Cool.
ちょっと大事なですね、この 6.0 からバトルシステムのメンテナンス、大きくちょっとね、2項目あるのでお伝えしていきたいと思います。
But now we want to talk a little bit about two important updates and adjustments that we'll be making to the battle system.
Sure.
当然
No
これま
job
での
actions
パッチ
trailer
パッ
yet,
ケージ同様
much as I want
バ
it
トルシス
so
テムの
bad.
細かい調整とかジョブアクションの調整、それから各ね、ジョブに新しいジョブアクションの実装というのは普通にやります。これは普通にやります。
So, as with previous expansions, there will be a fair deal of fine-tuning when it comes to the battle system, as well as job
Yeah, we gotta add in
actions
some
and
sight
the
to it.
addition of new actions.
で、それ以外に重要なお知らせが2つあるので、
So
この2つ
excited to,
お伝え
like,
させていただきます。
unironically, I'm so excited to level every class again.
まず1つ目、バトル計算
Okay.
式で使っている数字のデノミネーションというのを行わせていただきます。
So the first big announcement today is that we will be performing a downscaling of the values, the numbers that we use
Potencies will come down
in the calculations.
for everything.
これはですね、以前の
Yeah, it's a damage
ドリルでも
squash
ちょっとお伝えさせていただいてたんですが、まあ、こ
because
の
we're
タイミン
getting
グ
close to
で
cap.
やることになるのでご承知おきくださいというふうにお話しさせていただいてました。
So we have discussed this. I have discussed this in previous producer letters.
Yeah.
And today I want to get into a little bit more detail.
じゃあまあどういうものなのか、なんでそれをやる
You'll
のか
still be
ちょっと
doing the same amount of
説明させていただきます
damage, but your
So I
numbers will
want
be
to tell you a
different.
little bit about what this entails and what it means for you.
まあ、新生オルゼアのリリース以降、レベルキャップ解放していくたびに、各ジョブのね、ベースダメージ
And this is just a thing that has to happen as your level caps continue to
So
rise.
since the release of A Realm Reborn, every increase to a job level cap sees an increase to the base job damage.
まあ大きなダメージが出せるっていうのはまあ気持ちいいのは確かに気持ちいい爽快感はあるんですけど、パッと
Yeah,
見る
it
ともう
expands out to the point eventually where it can't be contained by the damage cap.
扱う
And the
数字の
damage
ことが大きくなる
calculations
と
just wind up too
すごい
large.
様々な問題っていうのが生まれてきてます。
It's why you can't just
So,
keep
and I
ratcheting
understand,
things up, you
that
know?
it feels great to dish out a lot of damage to enemies, but after a certain point, it becomes very difficult to easily discern the numbers on the screen, as well as the numbers get bigger, the potential for other problems increase on the back end.
Yeah.
まずこのデノミネーションさせていただく理由の一つ目なんですけど、
Yeah.
バトル計算式は今回変わらないです。
So again, for anybody watching this that's starting to panic, you won't be doing less damage.
So
The numbers
here are
will just be
reasons for this
smaller.
downscaling. First thing I want to assure everyone is that we're not changing the formulas, we're changing the numbers that go into the formulas. That is what we're just downscaling.
まあちょっとこれは
Yeah,
プログ
so
ラム的な
enemies'
お話
health will
に
be
なっちゃうんですけ
adjusted
ど、
as well.
扱って
It's not like
い
you're
る計
just
算式に入ってくる
gonna be doing
数
less
字の桁が
damage.
大きくなるとですね、プログラム上オーバーフローって言って数字が一周しちゃうみたいな現象っていうのが起こります。これ
So this is a programming issue, but what happens a lot of times is when numbers get too big, it can cause overflow and revert things back to different numbers, and that can cause a lot of bugs.
でこれなんとか実は今まで出てきたバグでも何件かこれにもう該当するものは出てるんですけど、なんとか
So, like,
期間中は無理やり
1,000 would become
And
probably not
we've
100,
had
but like
these problems in
500,
the
you know,
past in the
and
5
maybe
series, and
drop it down to
we've been
100 is
able
little.
to
but-
patch them in emergency patches, but it's been just barely.
でこれ以上数値大きくなるとやっぱパケットのサイズ皆さんとの通信のやり取りにするパケッ
So,
トの
like,
サイズ
for
を増やしたり
instance,
と
when
か
you're
そう
hitting
なるとバグとか遅延っていうの
for
が
like
生まれちゃうので
73K,
数字を小さくさせてほしいっていうのがまず
Like,
理由の一つ目
you
になり
can
ます
reduce the
Again,
monster's
if
health
data
by
packets
enough
continue to increase in size because of these large numbers,
that
it can stress communication loads to the
like
server.
5K
and
damage
that
instead, you
will
know,
end
and you
up
just you
creating
go
bugs
through that
and delays in the
path
game,
basically.
ruining the experience.
そしてですね、ヘイト計算
Oh, I bet Enmity's getting real rough.
数字が大きすぎて、今タンクのヘイト
Because enmity damage is on top of regular damage, so I bet it is, yeah.
を無理やりこう
I bet that's getting real rough on the servers.
もうこれ一周すると数字ゼロになっちゃったりするので、今ちょっと強引な対応している状態で動いてるんですけど、これらも整理させていただきたいと思ってます。
Next, we come to like tank enmity, and for example, this has already been pushed to its limits to almost its max, and we're doing our best to put a band-aid on this by temporarily lowering that enmity, but it's creating a lot of problems, and we can see it to the point where it might get so high that it reverts back to zero and creates even more problems.
それからですね、フライテキストの表示限界、数字がたくさん並ぶじゃないですか、バーンって高いダメージ出ると。
Yeah.
あれがもう入り乱れ
Because the numbers become
両
longer.
領域をすごい食うので、これもちょっと表示限界に来てます。
The next problem is that we have the size of the flying text numbers when you deal damage and the number appears on the screen. These numbers are so large that it takes up a lot of space on the screen, as well as it's starting to
Like,
affect the graphics.
I
rendering.
get this entirely. I wish they didn't have to go into this much detail, but they do. Because if they don't, people will be like, why are we doing this? It's so dumb. It's like, no, you have to explain why. Because otherwise people won't understand.
And now with player damage being so high, the boss
Yeah.
HP has seen an absurd increase, and
Yeah.
this is causing problems as well.
And the numbers just get bloated higher and higher.
パッチ5.5、次に予定しているパッチ5.5
Oh, I'm actually really curious about this.
の最大ヒットポイント調べてきました。
So, to prove our point, I'm going to show you the amount of HP that a certain boss coming in 5.5 has.
こちらです。
Ooh, 440 million HP. Yeah.
4
Yeah.
億
We can drop that down
かな
We can squish that
440 million
to
HP.
4 million
この4億
and squish player damage down to the equivalent, and we haven't
I'm
changed
sure
much
that,
at all. It's not going to
Warriors
feel like a
of Light
change at
will
all.
be able to
But
get this much
the
HP
numbers won't be a
down.
problem anymore.
まあ分かった分かった。でまとめてでどうなんのっていうのをちょっとじゃあ結局どうなるのっていうのをご説明していきますこれから。
So let's talk a little bit about, then we know the problems now. What are we actually going to do to alleviate them?
まずレベル51からレベル80
Okay.
までの数値の
So the damage numbers won't be so drastic.
小さくなりま
A
す。
jump.
So the first thing we're planning on doing is truncating the character growth from levels 50 to 80.
例えばですけどレベルが一つ上がると、適当な数字で言いますよ。
Again, as long
5%
as they make it to
で
match,
その5%
you won't notice a difference at
こ
all.
れや数字でかくなってくるん
If
です
they
けど
don't,
そ
you
れ
will.
をレベル51から80までの間をちょっと圧縮させていただいて、極端な話を言うと
Yeah, you
1%
become currently,
しか強くな
right
りませ
now,
ん
you
みたい
become
な
so
形の調整をさせていただきます。
exponentially more powerful.
Okay, for example,
Every
again,
10 levels
numbers
that
I'm
it's
going to be giving
nuts.
here are not the exact numbers, but this is just for an example. For example, you have the amount of progress that you make, the amount of that your attributes will go up after gaining one level. Let's say that it will be plus 5%. For levels 50 to 80, taking that from 5% up after each level to, say, 1% up after each level.
特にヒットポイントとか火力の上昇の差っていうのがこれまでに比べて当然少なくやっぱり感じられてしまうかなと。
And so this will again look like it's affecting player HP as well as the amount of damage that a player deals.
なのでちょっとアクション一撃のダメージっていうのがこ
Yeah,
れま
of
でに
course.
比べると
That's part of the
数字が
squish.
ちょっと小さくなることになります。
And so what this will appear to look like is that when you deal damage, it will look like your damage has gone down.
で、その
But
一
in
方なんですけ
actuality,
ど、
your damage hasn't
レベル
changed
81
at all
から
because the
今回
enemy HP has
6.0
also
で
been
レベル
moved
90
down.
までキャップが上がるので、レベル81から90までっていうのはこれまでのと同じ体感の成長度合いじゃないとつまんなくなっちゃうので、特に先端にいる皆さんはここの割合、成長を感じていける割合っていうのは、今までと同じ感覚になるようにするので、改めてレベル51から80までをギュッと圧縮して81から90までの成長を感じていく部分っていうところは、今までと同じようなね、
I can't wait to see people completely overreact about this for months up until it happens.
出るような形にしていこうと思ってます。
That said, again, if we don't preserve the sense of growth that one might expect from a new expansion, from that raising of the level cap, that could also be problematic. And so what we want to do is we want to maintain that sense of progression between the levels 81 to 90. So while we would be truncating that progress from levels 50 to 80 and compressing that down from level 81 to 90, we will leave it in a position where it will feel the same as it does for every expansion for those final 10 levels, those new 10 levels.
同時にですね、
And then moving forward, they would roll back to the same
ものす
thing.
ごい数字を扱っているので、経験値のネクストまでの経験値とか、そういった経験値も全体的にギュッて圧縮。
I don't know how I feel about XP
Experience
being
point values
reduced
are also becoming too
because
large,
that's a
and so
long
we'll be
way,
lowering them as well.
a long way to
And at the
go.
same time,
If
we'll
the
be
numbers
reducing the
are
amount
just
of EXP needed to level up.
okay,
なの
yeah,
で
never mind
次
then.
の
There you go.
レベルまでに
That's the
必要
good
な
side
経
of
験値
that.
がギュッて減りますけ
You'll
ど、
level
敵がも
faster
らえる経験値
because you got a long way to go if you start at level
変
one.
わらないです。
So again, relatively, it'll be the same. It'll be, however, you'll be getting less experience for defeating an enemy, but it will take less experience to level up.
Yeah.
まあもちろんね、拡
So
張が
again,
新しく出てキャップ上がるんで、
it's just
そう
taking
な
the
るとなんか
numbers and
レベルアッ
going,
プ
but
しや
what
す
if
さみた
instead
いな
of up
形に
here,
接していきますけ
they
ど、
were down here, but with no
And again,
movement in
as
them?
we are releasing this new expansion, we are, going to make it easier to level up, so that is going to remain.
Sure.
でまあ当然プレイヤーサイドの攻撃力、なんだダメージとかね。
Yeah,
非常に
and then of
下がる
course
から
they'll
モン
just
ス
make
タ
it all
ーの
balance.
ポイントやダメージっていうのも
Yeah.
当然それに応じて小さくなります。
I'm still excited to see
And
the
then this
internet
is
lose
not
its
only,
mind over this.
For the players,
but-
because player HP and attack numbers will be going down, we'll be doing the same thing for monsters as well, and so relatively everything will remain the same.
で、まあ結局どうなるかっていうと、まあプレイヤーが弱くなるわけではないですよと。
Yeah,
扱う
exactly.
数字は小さくなりますけど、体感の感覚、やり取りしてるもの
Yeah,
には関
this is
係
the
は
thing
変
they
わ
have
り
to
ま
say
せん
so people will
So what we
understand.
want everyone to remember is that this is the character not getting weaker. The numbers are going down, but relatively everything is staying the same.
ただ一つだけ制限解除という遊びがございまして、
It's literally, like I
レベル
said,
例えば80の
it's
状態
taking,
で
if the numbers right now are
全然
here,
強いまま
this is the enemy, this is the player, we're doing this. They're still exactly in the same
There is
place.
one thing, however, that
They
will
have
be
just
slightly
moved,
affected,
so the numbers are smaller.
by this change, and that is playing as undersized parties. For example,
Okay.
As level 80, going back and playing some of the old content as an undersized party, this may become more difficult.
ここはなんとかそのね遊びとしてその確立している部分もあるからなんとかしたいとは思ってるんですけど、今のところこれでなんとかなるだろうみたいなのがちょっとまだ見つかってないので、
I see why. Yeah, I see
まあ
why.
なんとかできる方法があればとは思うん
Because
ですけ
you're
ど、
not syncing, and so the game
ちょ
isn't
っとその
reading that vast
部分に関
difference
してはちょっと
between the two
今のと
numbers
こ
anymore.
ろ
The numbers are a lot closer as far as the game's concerned. Yeah.
ただ普通に制限解除とか関係なく遊んでる分に関しては数字のやり取りが小さくなるだけで別にプレイヤーが弱くなるわけではありませんよっていうのを、ご理解いただければと思います。
Regarding these undersized parties, we understand this is a large portion of what a lot of players enjoy doing, and so we understand that this is still something that we need to address. As to how we're going to address this,
I
we're
love
still
the
in
solo
process
content.
of finding
So
that.
I'm
So
hoping to
that's
see that
something
they
we're
address
doing.
this in a good way.
Otherwise, we want to again reiterate the fact that while the numbers here are all going down, the player is not getting weaker. It's all relative.
さて大体
I should probably tell everybody this is my fault. My ninja's too fast, and so we're getting nerfed nerfed.
for downscaling values, I
We're
think that's
downscaling because
about
I'm too
it.
fast. I'm sorry.
大体今のレベル80のですね、僕の黒魔同士のフ
From
ァイトや
51 and up, though, you will still rock
30
anything under 50 from the sound of it.
5キルぐらいダイレクトもクリティカルも入らなければなんですけどダメージ。
So, to give you an example, currently my own player, I'm a black mage at level 80 with item level 530. If I use Fire 4 with no crit and no direct hit, I deal about 50,000 points of damage.
Yeah.
大体それがですね、1万ぐらいかな。
We expect this to go down to about 10,000.
でまあそ
Sure.
こからレベルが上がっていくと
That's a good-
また
that's a good
いつもの
down.
レベル1個ずつ上がっていった強くなった感覚っていうのはやるので、まあ大体5分の1ぐらいだと思ってもらえればと思います。
And of course, this will go up as the level goes up, but think of it as about reduced about 80%, down to about a fifth of what it
Yeah.
normally was.
でこれはやっぱり長期運営をやっていく上ではちょっとどうしても避けられないポイントなので、今日冒頭ねお話ししたようにこれからもっともっとファイナルファンタジー14続けていきます。だから今回やったとしてもまた10年ぐらい経つともう1回デノミネーションさせてくださいというタイミングが来てはしまうと思います。でも長く続けていくっていう意思の表れだと思って、ご理解いただけると大変助かります。
As we mentioned at the top of the announcement showcase, is that we expect Final Fantasy XIV to continue for many, many, many
Yeah,
years.
and to do that,
And
they have to do
ensure
this
that
now.
we can
Yeah.
do that. This is one of the things that we feel that we need to do. And that said, possibly another 10 years down the road, we might have to do this again. But
Yeah.
again, this is basically we're doing this to show you that we're committed to having the lifespan of Final Fantasy XIV keep going for.
Because the game would just unravel
Right.
as we go
では
if they
もう
don't
一つ
do that.
システムのお話をします。
All right, and then we have one more battle system update
Okay.
that we'd like to mention.
I mean, honestly, I'm here for it. Easier to gear without one piece of gear. They don't show up on your character anyway. Get rid of them.
Many of
They're
you
just taking up
remember
space in the
back from
inventories.
1.0, we had this item.
How many belts do I
there,
have?
Even though it was removed graphically, it remained.
I have so many belts on retainers. Get the belts
The
out
time
of
for
here.
belts. The belt era is over.
No more belts. Humanity has moved past the need for belts.
とにかくこの帯防具って人気が低い。で、あまりチェストワークはでも他と一緒だし。
I'm gonna tweet that. It's just dumb enough. I want to tweet it.
しないようにしてくれとか言われたんですよね。もうじゃあ今回消そうということになりました。
So again, as you know, belts have no bearing on players' outward appearances. Their stat values as accessories is pretty negligible. And because of that, they're not a very popular piece of equipment. Yet they take up the same amount of space in our armory chest as other equipment. And we've even had lots of fans ask us to just stop dropping them in alliance raids because we don't need them.
Yeah.
でリングはっていう声もね結構今コメント
Get 'em out of here.
And then a lot of people also complaining, talking about the rings, but
指輪もすごい検討したんですけど
Rings have to stay though, right?
左右別々
Because we need them for
のグラフィックスの
accessories
指輪
to
をつけるっていう
make a
ことで
match. Because it'll be
おしゃ
head,
れに使ってる
chest,
人も
hands,
いるので
legs, feet,
今回は、
neck
やりませんでした。
And regarding rings,
rings.
while we did consider this, we also understand that a lot of players, because you can put them on both hands and you can actually graphically see them on your players on both hands, we decided that we're going to
Jobstone.
not do that this time.
There's one more
で
accessory,
結
isn't
局どうな
there?
るかっていう説明をして
Earrings.
いきます
Yeah, it'll be 5 and
So
5 then.
we need to explain what's going to happen with this removal of belts.
まず 6.0 以降、
Nice.
帯防具は
Get 'em
装
out of
備
here.
不可になります。
So at the beginning, at the launch of 6.0, belts
Warrior of
will
Light
no
has
longer
moved
be
past the
equipable.
need for belts.
そして装備中のまま 6.0 を迎えた場合には自動的に
Sure.
外れて遺失物管理人という NPC が預かることになります。
So what happens to any belts that are equipped at the time of that switch over to 6.0?
The Calamity
These will
Salvagers come by
automatically be unequipped
and
and
rip
moved
your
to
belts
Calamity
off.
Salvager.
リテーナーが装備したままとかいうのも全て遺失物管理人に我々移させていただきますので、何かこう無理に急いで準備しなきゃいけないということはないようにさせていただきます。
This includes retainers as well. So there is no need to rush and unequip any belts before that transition to 6.0.
If you don't follow me on
Everything
Twitter,
will
you're
be
missing
moved
all
to the
these
clamp and
dumb
salvage
jokes that I
automatically.
think are funny.
マテリアをね外しておきたいという方は外しておいていただきたいです。
That's a good
For
question. What
materia,
about
if you wanna
materia that's in
remove
belts?
materia from it, you should do that before
Before
6.0.
6.0? Okay.
各コンテンツから、それから
Oh man, people are gonna start taking all their belts off immediately now, like starting
So belts
tonight.
will no longer drop from any duties, and they'll be removed from Allegan Tonestone exchanges.
People are gonna take belts
Yeah,
off
分かったよ。
tonight
腰防具なく
and
な
be
る
like,
の
oh, they
分
said
か
we
った
didn't
よ。
need them.
じ
No,
ゃあ
you
その
still need to
腰
wear
防
them up
具の
until.
35枠どう
Okay,
すんだよと。
they'll be
Okay,
reallocated
so
to
now
what?
that we
Because
know
that's
that
actually really cool.
The belts are being eliminated. What happens to those 35 slots?
Because the system already assumes we have them, right?
15枠を主武器に
Yes.
そして
Yes!
15枠を
15 more
リングの方
slots for
に
weapons.
回してそれぞれを
50
50
slots
枠
of
ずつに拡張
weapons.
します。
Oh,
The plan
thank
is currently to
goodness.
take 15 of those 35
Do you know how hard it
slots
is?
and allocate them to main arms, main weapons.
Do you know
Another
how
15
hard
will
it
be
is
allocated to rings.
to have one of
Eh,
every
おい
weapon
おい
type on you
5
right
枠持っ
now?
てんじゃねえかよってい
For
うところ
all
は
combat
すい
and
ませんこれからも
non-combat
なんとか
classes?
枠を拡張していく
Oh, thank
努力のためにもです
goodness.
ね5枠ちょっと一回リザーブとして僕らに預けてください。
And so there's a lot of people saying, well, wait a minute, 15 plus 15, that's 30. What about the other 5 slots? What's going to happen to those? We're going to take those and we're going to save them for a rainy day in case something happens. So we're going to keep those on reserve for now.
Sure,
すい
you
ませ
might
ん
need them. You
よろ
never
しくお願い
know.
します
Sorry, but thank you.
はい。まあ近づいてきたらね、また詳しくトピックスでお知らせしていこうと思いますので、
Heck
ぜ
yeah.
ひチェックしておくよう
I'm
に
more
してください
stoked for that than I am for a
We'll
lot of
have a more
things,
detailed
honestly.
explanation of the removal of belts in an upcoming topics.
ではですね、そろそろ、今日お伝えできる情報っていうのも、少なくなってきたんですが、ここで、まあ、長期的に作ってきた新しいシステムを最後に、お伝えして終わっていこうかなと思ってます。
Right, so we're nearing the end of our announcement showcase, but we have one more system-related thing that we'd like to talk about that we've been working
Sure.
on for a long time.
こちら、データセンタートラベルという仕組みを、現在開発中でございます。
So currently, we're in the development of a new system called the Data Center Travel.
こ
So
れは
that's
ですね
like world
今
visit
ファイナル
except
ファンタジー14に存在している
between
まあ
DCs?
ワールドを超えて、別のワールドへ遊びに行くワールド間テレポっていう仕組みがありますが、
So all of you know about the current system that we have that allows players to move around between worlds called the World Travel System.
それをですね、まあちょっと全くそれと同じ機能っていうのはちょっとサーバーの作り的に不可能なので、一旦ログアウトは必要なんですけど、キャラクター選択画面から他のデータセンターへ遊びに行くっていう新しい仕組みを今回、
Sure.
開発中です。
So while this won't work exactly the same way as the World Visit System, we hoped that it can be similar, although it will require, again, changing the system outside of the game and then logging back in.
Okay.
その代わり
Interesting.
他のデータセンターへ遊びに行った場合に、
So because it does that, is it
その
even a
フリカン
visit
パニーとか
or do
リンクシェル
you
のチャット
just
ができない
move over
ちょっ
there?
と、ワールド
And
カ
then
ン
you
テレ
just
ポ
move
よりは
back.
制限が強いんですけど、友達に会いに行ってパーティーを組んでコンテンツへ行くみたいなことっていうのはできるので、また改めて詳細にできることできないことっていうのの一覧がまとまったら皆さんにお伝えしていこうと思います。何はともあれデータセンターを超えて友達のところへ遊びに行けるシステムだと思ってください。
And so there will be a lot of restrictions with this, possibly even more than there are currently with the World Visit System.
Yeah.
However, this will allow players to move freely to other data centers temporarily and party up with their friends, take screenshots,
Sure.
have a lot of fun.
まあ結構ね、経済どうなる
Heck yeah.
って方いらっしゃいますけど、ワールドカンテレポの時も皆さんそう言ってたんですけど、実害ほぼないので、ちゃんとシミュレーションをします。ご安心ください、ぜひね。
So there are some people that might be worried about what effect this might have on data center and world economies.
Sure,
There
market
was the
board
same
will be affected,
worry,
I'm sure,
back
but
when right
World
before
Visit
we
barely
started
changed the
World,
market board.
Visit system as well. But it turns out that the change, the effect was negligible. And
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to be doing some simulations to make sure that that's the case here. But we don't feel that it will
Yeah.
affect adversely,
Most
the
players
economies.
did not
さて
have it in them to jump
まあ
every
大
server.
体これですね。
The people
ようや
that do
く
absolutely
終わ
benefited,
り
but
が見え
most
た
people
かな。
don't.
So I think that is pretty much all that we have today. Pretty much.
あちょっと待って待って。
Hold
ちょ
on.
っと
Hold
待
on.
ってよ。
なんか
え
知ってる人の声する。
I think
Just
I've
a
heard
moment.
that
ちょっと
voice
待って。
before.
もう一つ何かですね、皆さんにお知らせしてないことがあるんじゃないの？
あ
Forgetting
I have beaten
something
this man in Nier
important,
Automata.
Sarah,
Eh?
players?
重要なお知らせですよ、重要なお知らせ。
Something really important.
ー社長。
It's the CEO.
はい、あれを表示して。これ
Show it on the
よろし
screen.
くお願いします。
え
What?
何
Ooh, PS5 version. Okay.
PS5 版のオープンベータ。
I very rarely play on my
4月
PS4.
13日から。
FF14, that is. I mostly played on PC.
So
But
the
it would be
final
nice to
version,
have
PlayStation 5
the
version,
PlayStation
open
5
beta
version
will begin
for when I
on
need to play on my
Tuesday,
PS5.
April 13th.
Heck
いや
yeah.
ねえじゃないですよ。
Yeah. What's going on here?
いよいよ
Heck
PS5 版
yeah.
の PS5 版のオープンベータが開始します。
Yes, the PlayStation 5 version open beta will begin soon.
これ次のパッチと同じ日なんでしょ？
And this is the
So-
same day as the next patch, right?
嘘でしょこ
No,
れ。
you can't
April
say that.
13th.
言ってなかったんだっけ？
言ってないですよ。
I
パッチ5.5の日付は
5.5.
We haven't mentioned the release date for 5.5 yet. That was
ああ、そう。まあだけど、まあいいよね。
Oh, it's
同じ
okay, right?
That's fine, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's on the same day.
この日にやります。
あーまあちょっと準備を一生懸命やってきた PS5 まあ
Okay, I mean, we've been working on it, yes, but
それともう一つね、
え
大事なせっかくだからね。
Did he say one more
PS5
thing?
版の動画持ってきたので、
Did
ぜ
he
ひ
touch
皆
it?
さんに見てもらいましょうよ。
I actually brought some footage
Eh?
from this PlayStation 5 version.
Oh.
はい、じゃあ流してください。お願いします。
Play the video.
Okay. Free to play through Heavensward too. It looks good on PS5. It looks really good on PS5. Heck yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so honestly, one of the reasons why I never played on my PS4 is because those load times were pretty rough. Yeah. If I have to like go away from home for a little bit and I can't bring my PC, I'll absolutely play it on PS5.
あーしかもパワポ用意されてる
Absolutely.
oh, and you even
こ
made
れ
a PowerPoint.
Absolutely.
すごいでしょこれ。
I heard it's quite amazing.
いやいやいやいや
I heard it's
Yeah,
quite
it's
amazing.
It is amazing, but
Indeed.
じゃあパワポ出ちゃってるんで僕からちょっとざっくり説明させていただこうと思い
okay,
ます。
since we have
はい、
appear to
よ
have
ろ
a
しくお願いしま
PowerPoint,
す。
let's go and talk about it.
まずですね、今回 PS5 版 4K ネイティブ対応させていただいております。
So first off, the PlayStation 5 version will be featuring full 4K resolution support.
Yeah.
そしてね、今ちょっと動画の方でもご覧いただきましたが、あれまあ PS5 版そのものからキャプチャーしている映像になりますが、まあ、超高速ロード PS5 売りですね。さっきのあれ実測タイムなので、あのスピードでエリアチェンジできるようになります。
So the video that you just saw, that was actual PlayStation 5 footage. And so you saw there the teleport and the quick loading time on the teleport.
Yeah.
That is, again, one of the PlayStation 5's main selling points.
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean,
the actual speed
It made a
at
huge
which
difference
you're
with
able to
Genshin
teleport.
Impact for me.
そしてですね、フレームレート、当然ですね、PS5 の、性能非常にパワフルなので、それを活かしてですね、フレームレートを大幅向上させていただいてます。
As you know, the PlayStation 5 is an extremely powerful system that will help us significantly improve the frame rate for the PlayStation 5 version.
まあ、ですので、今回、まあ、用途に分けてまたオプション設定増やしていこうと思うんですが、PS5 の場合は、もう 4K でとにかくグラフィックス至上主義で遊びたいよっていうモードと、
So currently we're planning to
Heck
have
yeah.
two different modes for the PlayStation 5 version. One mode being the 4K version, where
Right.
those players that want to play Final Fantasy XIV at its most beautiful.
The other one will be gameplay focused.
解像度を下げてもいいから、とにかくフレームレート爆速で
Yeah.
ド安定で遊びたいんだっていう人の、モードと、これ、リアルタイムにスイッチできるんで、切り替えてお好みで遊んでいただければ
Real time
と思います。
switch.
And then a second mode that we have planned is our full HD 2K mode that focuses more on frame rate and optimizing that frame rate. And players will be able to go into config and change that in real time in the PlayStation 5 version.
PS4 版発売された時も覚えてらっしゃる方いらっしゃると思うんですが、パッチを当てるたびにですね PS5 バージョンに PS5 ならではの特性を入れたアップデートっていうのも行っていく予定です。
And as we did when we first released our PlayStation 4 version, we plan on continuing to make improvements to the
Sure.
PlayStation 5 version over a series of patches.
はい、そんな感じです。
So yeah, that's about it.
で、お値段は
And what's the price going to be?
お値段これどうなの
じゃあちょっと、ちょっと
Hold
じゃあ
on,
僕
hold
から
on.
社長に1個お願いがあるんですけど、いいですか？
Okay.
いいですよ。
So
go ahead.
I have something to ask of you since you're here today.
僕としてはちょっとこうしたいっていうのがあるので、ちょっと見ていただきたいです。
Okay, so this is what I want to do, and I want you to take a look at this and see if it's okay.
ファイナルファンタジー14の PS4 版
No
のプレイ権をお
extra
持ちの
Cost.
は、オープンベータがあって正式サービス始まったらもう月額課金払ってくれてるならもうそのまま
Yoshi
PS5
P
で遊べちゃっていいんじゃないですかっていうふうに
Yoshi
したいん
P
ですけど、僕的には。
So basically, what I want to do is that anyone that has a registered license for the PlayStation 4 version, I want them to play the beta version, and once the beta version ends and we begin our official service, as long
For
as you're paying that monthly fee,
free.
to be able to upgrade immediately to the
Very
PlayStation
nice.
5 version.
だから簡単に言うと今 PS4 で遊んでる皆さんはそのまま PS5 でも遊べちゃい、簡単に言うとそういう風にしたいんですけど、どうですかね、社長。
And I want players to be able to, those playing the PS4 version, to be able to basically, move over to that PlayStation 5 version without having to do anything.
ああ、それはだけどいいアイデアだね。
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
ね、皆さんのためですから、ぜひこれでいきましょ
So it's for our players. Let's go with this.
So easily.
社長
So easily could have
太っ腹。
charged for it again.
Thank you.
So easily
う。
could have
これ
charged
も
for it
ぜ
again.
ひ皆さんのために。
That's a great PR move.
PS5 版、試してプレイしてみてください。よろしくお願いします。
Yes, so we are doing this for our players. Please look forward to the PlayStation 5 version.
すごい、社長を持ち上げる声がすごいですよ。
お
いや、これというわけで今私決済取れましたんで PS4 版のお持ちの方は
What a
追加
great
の
deal.
費用なく PS5 版にもうアップグレードしていただけるというふうに確約取れましたんで、もうそれでいこうと思います。
So you heard it here. We got permission from the CEO himself. Those who have the PS4 version and that registered license will be able to upgrade to the PS5 version without any charge.
なので今 PS4 版の権利をお持ちの方はもう PS5 版のファイナルファンタジー14のパッケージも買っていただかなくて大丈夫です。
So those of you with that registered license and the PS4 version will not need to purchase the PlayStation 5 package.
Very
です
cool.
のでもうなんとか本体だけ
Very cool.
手に入れてください。
You won't need to buy the PlayStation 5 package, but you'll still need to try to find a PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
はい。
very true.
PS5 にね、合わせて
Still, that's great though. That's so good. I'm looking at Control. I'm looking at Neo. You just go down the
As mentioned
list.
before, we plan to continue updates to the PlayStation 5 version, improving graphics, improving performance with future patches.
ではですね、そんな太っ腹な、社長からですね、
では、
世界中
well
の
then.
光の選手の皆さんに一言ぜひね、ご挨拶を改めてお願いし
So
ます。
let's get a few words
Mhm.
from our CEO before he leaves.
はい、改めまして、皆さんこんにちは。スクエアエニックスの松田です。
Hello, everyone. This is
Matsuda-san.
Yosuke Matsuda from Square Enix.
今日はファイナルファンタジー14新情報発表会ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for tuning in to Final Fantasy XIV Announcement Showcase.
ここまでいろいろなたくさんの情報がありましたが、今のPS5 のオープンベータ、それからこれからもまた情報があるようですので、ぜひ最後まで、楽しんで、ご覧ください。
Well, as you saw today, including this PlayStation 5 version, a lot of new information was revealed today. Please enjoy to the very end of this presentation.
そして、ファイナルファンタジー14、皆様のおかげで10年ここまでやって
And again,
これました。
Is it a PR move? Sure, but it's also better for the
Final Fantasy
consumer.
XIV has
So I'm all
managed
here
to
for it.
continue for 10 long years, thanks to you, all the players around the world.
そして、吉田が先ほど言いましたように、彼はこれからもファイナルファンタジー14を率いていきます。そして開発チーム一同、ゲームをもっともっと盛り上げていきますので、
I can't help but smile at the way Yoshi P's just like, yeah, we did it. 10 years, we're doing it. We're still
あ
going.
りがとうございました。
And as Yoshida himself mentioned, he will keep working on this title. He will keep leading this title, and the development team will keep working hard to make more progress in this game. So please look forward to it.
Of course.
はい、スクエアニックス代表取締役社長の松田洋介でした。社長ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
Yosuke Matsuda, our president and CEO of Square Enix.
ふうやれやれ発表されてねしまいましたけど、プレイステーション5版もぜひ楽しみにしてください。
Yeah,
But
we
where's the
were
Alliance
supposed to
raid
announce
gonna
that
be?
today,
What's
but
the
we
mystery
will
of
be releasing
Eorzea?
the PlayStation 5 version very soon, so please look forward to it.
まあオープンベータとかね、詳しい詳細またトピックスでお知らせしていきます。基本的には本体持ってればすぐに遊べるとイメージしておいてもらえれば大丈夫かと思います。
More information about the open beta will be revealed in an upcoming topics. But long story short, if you have that PlayStation 4 version and the PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play it almost immediately once the beta begins.
すいません、ちょっと時間をオーバーし気味ですが、本日の新情報発表会はここまでとさせてください。ただまだまだ隠しネタが存在する行月のフィナーレ、エンドウォーカーですが、次の情報公開ファンフェスで行っていこうと思います。
All right, and so we're already over our time limit here, and while we still have a lot of information to talk about, we're going to leave that for future events and the fan festival. So we have one more thing to show you.
こちら2021年5月
May
15
15th and
日
16th. That's the
2日
digital
間で行う
Fan Fest?
Around the World と題して全世界グローバルに向けた
That's when we'll
デジ
get
タル
our
フ
other
ァンフェスティバルをや
class.
っていきます。
And so our final announcement today is about the Final Fantasy Fan Festival.
And we'll see the humming
our
ways.
Digital Fan Festival around the world, which will be held on May 15th and 16th this year.
まあ、いつものファンフェス通り2日間丸14
We might
尽
see
く
the
しの
moon
ファ
there
ンフ
too.
ェスをやっていこうと思います。もちろん、音楽のステージも2日間しっかり用意してやっていこうと思ってます。
And just like all of our live Final Fantasy Fan Festivals, we plan to have 2 days full of content, including live concerts.
でまあ、もちろんデジタルなので全世界に配信もしますし、まあ、可能であればねリアルで集まってもらえる方には来てもらうっていうのも考えたいですし、僕らもそこだけじゃなくてちょっとねゲームの中でもみたいな感じで丸2日間モニターとかゲームを通して14を楽しめるファンフェスをやっていこうと思ってます。
And while we're planning to have this fan festival again online, so all players all around the world can attend, possibly even players that are here in Japan might be able to attend in person. We'll see if that is allowed. But we want to have a full 2 days filled with a Final Fantasy experience, packed with content, have it feel like an in-game type of event.
Sure.
そしてですねライブストリームで世界中にと言いました。ですのでもうすべて音楽コンテンツも含めて今回はすべて無料で視聴していただけるようにします。
Wow,
And so,
okay.
because again, it is going to be online, we want to tell everyone
All
that
right.
this stream in its entirety, including the concert, will be free.
まあもちろんだからまあプライマルズのライブとかあるのかな。まあそういった音楽ステージとかも
Heck
スト
yeah.
リーム無料でお届け
No
していこ
tickets
うと
needed.
思ってます。
So a lot of people out there are thinking,
Yeah.
will be, for example, a Primals concert. If there is, it will be streamed live. For free.
Nice.
まあ、ただちょっと注意点、音楽にはいろんなゲストの方とかいらっしゃるので、アーカイブからは映像がね残らないようにするかもしれないので、ぜひですねリアルタイムに視聴していただけると大変助かります。
Just one thing though about the live performances, because it does involve people that are not affiliated with Square Enix.
Yeah,
there is a
they won't
chance
be able to
that
archive
after the
those,
stream,
yeah.
while the stream is free, after the stream, it might not be archived. So make sure
Yeah.
that you catch the stream in real time.
なんかコメントでですね、太っ腹すぎて心配なんだよなって。
They're worried that we're giving too much.
金払ってもいいんだぞって書いてくださっ
Some
てる方
people
が
are
いるん
even
です。
saying that, oh, we're willing to pay.
そういった方はですね、ぜひこのファンフェス記念アイテムを購入していただけると助かります。
So those of you who are willing to pay, we have something for you to pay for if you like.
Oh,
気に入っ
the
た
lunar
This, of course, this is
whale.
not required. This is if you would like it.
前回ね、クラウドのフェンリルというバイクファンフェス記念として販売開始しましたが、今回ルナホエールというマウント、発売開始させていただく予定です。
So as you remember, with our last fan festival,
I need it.
We had Cloud's bike Fenrir.
I need it.
For this digital fan festival, we're planning to have this mount, the Lunar Whale.
まあ、天野先生のね、昔のデザインをちょっと再現して。
Designed by Amano himself.
Where
Yeah,
you
of course it is.
Actually, used
Of course it is.
Yoshitaka Amano's original artwork as a base for this design.
ちょっとこちらですね、いち早く完成しているので動画をお持ちしました。
Actually, this has already been completed, and so we have a video to show you. Take a look at it.
I'm such an FF4 fanboy. Like, I know I've said it so many times. FF4 is my second favorite game of all time. It's an 8-seater, isn't it? Heck yeah! Yep. Yep. Please tell me it plays the Lunar Whale music too, just like that, the whole time.
はい、いかがだったでしょうか。ファイナルファンタジー14初のついに8人乗りマウントの登場でございます。
So, as you saw in the video, this is Final Fantasy XIV's first ever 8-person mount.
はい。でさらにですね、このファンフェス記念してもう一種アイテムがございま
I
す。
have to have it.
We
I
also
need it.
have one more type of item available.
Yep,
Actually,
FF4!
まあ今回ね、行月のフィナーレエンドウォーカーが月に絡んでいるということで、ファイナルファンタジー4の、オマージュエッセンスっていうのもいろいろ期待できるかなと思うんですが、その4からミニオンとしてエッジ、ローザ、ルーの、ミニオンがファンフェス記念として発売となります。
And because a big part of the Endwalker story focuses on the moon, we decided to go the route of Final Fantasy IV, which also took place somewhat on the moon. And to take
FF4 is my second favorite game
We have
of
Edge,
all
and Ridia.
time.
でどちらもね、ファンフェスティバル、デジタルファンフェスティバルの開催5月15日から販売スタートの予定です。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
We plan to have them
They look
available
really
for
good,
purchase
too.
on the same day, that first day of the Final Fantasy Fan Festival on May 15th. Please look forward to them.
はい、ファンフェスの情報もね、今日この後の PLL とかでまたちょっと触れていこうと思ってます。
Just straight on the Mog Station or the new
Regarding the Fan
FF14
Festival, we have
store?
a little bit more information
No
to give
need
you,
to
and we plan on doing that
watch
in
the
the
stream
letter
at
from the
specific
producer
times and
live
maybe
that
get a
is coming
drop or anything like
after
that.
the
Just
showcase.
cool.
さてすいません、ちょっと時間オーバーしてしまいましたが、これで今日お伝えできる内容
We're
は
not going to record the full live letter. Like I said, I have some other
With
things I have to
that, we
record
are
tonight.
way over our time limit,
But
I think
this has
we're
been
finally
great.
finished,
I'm so stoked
with
about
today's
this.
showcase.
いやー
Sage,
ごめんね。
That was,
Lunar
yeah,
Whale,
it's okay.
Radset Han, Thavnair,
ありがとうご
the
ざいます。
Moon,
Thank you very
Garlemald,
much.
Astinian.
それではですね、ハイデリンゾディアーク編のその
Necromancer？
衝撃のラスト、ぜひそれをですね、震えてお待ちいただけたらと思いま
I
す。
can't wait.
With Endwalker, we're
This year.
finally approaching the climax of the story of Hydaelyn and Zodiark. So, please look forward to it.
Oh, here's the art, right? Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
もう最後にちょっとね、これ補足ですが、天野先
Heck
生、
yeah.
天野義孝先生に書いていただいた今回のエンドウォーカーのイメージイラスト。
Yeah, no, I'm here for all
So
of
this is
this.
actually the last thing that we have. Here's some artwork that we had especially created for us by the master Yoshitaka Amano.
まあどちらが善でもどちらが悪でもないと、天地、逆にもできるようなデザインでぜひお願いしますというので。
It's got such an
結構無
FF4 feel
茶な
to it as well.
天野先生にお願いしたんですけど。
So when we went to Amano Sensei to ask him to create this for us, we told him that we wanted something that was, whether you looked at it from the top or the bottom, it would be, you could have a different sort of image, that there is no good, there is no bad, there is no dark,
Right.
there is no light. And I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
まあぜひですね、このアートにも仕掛けいろいろあります。ストーリークリアした時に見るとまたちょっと印象変わるのかなとも思いますんで、ぜひこれらも含めて全力でこれから、進めていこうと思いますので、どうぞ楽しみにお待ちください。
In this illustration, there's a lot of stuff hidden about the story.
I'm sure.
You could take a look at it now and speculate. We also would like you to maybe take another look at it after you've completed this story, and it'll take on a different light and show you things that maybe you hadn't seen before. So we really enjoy the art and hope you do too.
改めまして全世界の光の戦士の皆さん、本当に長い時間最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。
All right, to all of our warriors of light watching us from around the world, thank you for staying with us for so long.
Yeah, that was great.
ただしこの後日本時間午後3時から今度はプロデュースされたライブがございますので、そちらでまた後ほどお会いしましょう。
But we're not done yet because in just a couple hours at 3 o'clock Japan Standard Time, we have the letter from the producer live where we talk all about 5.5.
はい、ありがとうございました。
See you then.
Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What you're looking forward to from 6.0, from Endwalker, and what you're not. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Until next time, though, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the Full Spectrum that the announcement showcase and Final Fantasy XIV has to offer.